Utah State. I guess it is Utah State that's got a COVID issue. They're shut down. So I don't know if the Lobos are going to play next week. As Jerry told us yesterday, and he's not wrong, these things tend to be 2 weeks. And Utah State's got issues within their program. If it's a 2-week thing, the Lobos aren't going to play Thanksgiving weekend. And I'm not even sure, and I meant to ask Eddie this yesterday. I'm hearing that they may have to move out of the resort that they're staying because they had a bunch of bookings for Thanksgiving, and so there's not enough rooms. And I'm not totally sure, which would mean then them having to break the bubble, obviously. But it is what it is. I like chances tonight. I like, when I first saw the Air Force team against Navy and they rolled them 40-7, I thought, dang, that's an offense that's going to be just humming again. And they put up 30 against Boise State, but they couldn't stop anybody. Opportunity, I think, to move the ball on the ground. I don't think they get torched over the top multiple times as they have the last 3 weeks by teams that like to throw the ball over the top. Now, Air Force hadn't played since the Boise State game. They've had the last 2 weeks canceled because of COVID. And so, they're not going to change who they are. Can they throw deep? Yeah. Have they before? Yes. I expect them to try it. But I think this is much more of an opportunity for New Mexico, considering what they do well and what they don't do well.
Oh, absolutely. I'd like the Lobos in this game tonight, given the fact that they've shown improvement on both sides of the football. Air Force, while we know they can run the football, they don't have as dynamic of a quarterback as they did last year in this matchup. Hammond is not with the team anymore, and we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for Air Force. It's definitely going to be a situation in which who you see on the field is who you know is going to play, because they're not going to tell you if it's Daniels, if it's Brian. They're not going to tell you which running back is available. So you just got to be ready to stop the option and go from there.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key. How do they stop the option? Again, it's a defense that give up a lot of yards, but give up a lot of yards through the air. Rocky Long has been very good over the years. As much as he tells you it's unstoppable, as much as he tells you that you draw it up on the chalkboard and they win every time, and he might be right. He might be right. Even on the whiteboard, he might be right. His defenses over the years have been pretty good. Now, it's always interesting when you get an Air Force in the middle of the season. You like a bye week. You like them early in the season. It's interesting. And I guess this is, 4 games into a 7-game schedule now. And Lord knows how many there's going to be after this. It's always interesting. But I like their opportunity. So we'll get into Lobo football as we go through it. 28-21 last night. Seahawks over the Cardinals in a really, really important game in the NFC West. Russell Wilson wasn't gigantic numbers, but he was good. I thought, you know how much I love Metcalf. He dropped some balls, but when you've got 2 weapons like he does, I understand Chris Carson's out, but you've got Lockett and Metcalf, and you're always a threat. Lockett had 9 catches last night. Other side, Kyler Murray went for 269 and 2 touchdowns and had a chance on a drive late, and just they stalled. The bottom line is the difference in the game was, to me, that last drive. If Russell Wilson, great quarterbacks in this league, it feels to me, and I don't know what the percentage is, but when they get the ball back with 2 minutes ish, and in this case it was more than 2 minutes and 2 timeouts, it feels like they convert 80% of the time, doesn't it?
It does. And Kyler Murray was not Superman last night. He was Clark Kent. And that's a credit to Seattle. For the first time this season, they found a pass rush, and they kept him in the pocket. And due to your point on that final drive, the last couple plays kind of said it all, is they didn't need to keep going downfield like they did.
Yeah.
And Murray he forced that one to Fitzgerald, and then Isabella, and then he's sitting there 4th and 10, takes the sack. He felt the pressure. He was not comfortable last night. And I don't know if you've been able to say Seattle's defense made a quarterback uncomfortable this season. They were able to last night.
Because I played against him in fantasy football last night. Why would some guy even have Seattle's defense? And he did, and they came up big. But, yeah, it was Seattle's defense was good all night. But Kyler Murray could have taken another step forward. And I'm not telling you he took a step back, because I don't believe he took a step back. But that would have been a national television moment, JJ, where he had an opportunity to make that. I don't know what the numbers are, but doesn't it feel to you like about 80% of the time you give an NFL quarterback, and certainly a good one, 2 minutes, 2 timeouts, and they got to go down the field and score? They almost always do.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray was good last night. He just wasn't
fine.
Great.
Yeah.
It was 29 of 42, 269, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He just didn't have the rushing game, and that's the difference. If you take the rush away, they lose the wow factor. Like, it was still, as to you pointed out, a one-possession game, had the football a chance to go down and tie it up, but he only had 15 yards rushing on 5 attempts. They kept him in the pocket. They made him uncomfortable, and especially after you took that early hit, his shoulder was sore, and he's been so good at limiting the hits. He's the best quarterback when it comes to being outside the pocket, getting yards, and not getting hit.
They should utilize Chase Edmonds more. That's my thought. All right, 505-246-0610 is the number to get in. 505-246-0610. Your emails will come to us, jeff@610knml.com, jj@610knml.com. 9 o'clock, Nick Need's going to be with us. We're going to look back at the Masters. Give you a golf tip, even though you can't play golf, or at least the golf courses are closed. But we'll do that at 9, look back at the Masters and Dustin Johnson winning that. Next up, we'll talk more NFL and get you the big headlines as you head into the weekend. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Dorian over. Did he get in?
They got in.
Touchdown, Dorian Lewis.
Seconds to play. Benavides still looking up the middle. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Freddie Anaya, and Roswell's season will end perfect.
Second quarter, 2nd and 4 for Socorro at the whole 44-yard line. McDaniel trying, good block by Hicks, First down and more. 30, 25, 20. McDaniel might be gone. Touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown for Michael McDaniel.
It's 40 seconds this year. It's not like 25 like it used to be.
He laterals it back. What a play by Hightower. Pitch.
Looked like somebody moved a little bit early. Hicks, the play fake double move. He's got his receiver wide open. Caught. One man to beat. Touchdown. Touchdown to number 17, Nathaniel.
Third and 6. Big defensive play coming up here. Little trickery to Reese. See you later. Touchdown. They went for the deep ball to Reese.
To the right, single receiver split to the left. Play fake, head up the middle's got some room. 50, 45, 40, has one man to beat. 30, 25, 10, 5, touchdown. Touchdown, Hope.
Wow.
On a
Option again. He'll keep it. Now.
Hello, darling. Hello, good looking. That's Steve Rabel. Seahawks radio, 28-21. Seahawks beat the Cardinals last night. You heard the game here on your home for the National Football League, 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal. Big game for the Seahawks to win at home. Not an overly impressive offensive effort, but for them, I think the biggest piece of the puzzle was what they did defensively by far, right? I mean, their best, although the last 2 weeks, they held the Rams to 23 points last week. And I don't know that they made Jared Goff feel as uncomfortable as they made Kyler Murray feel last night. But the last 2 weeks, I think that defense has hurt it, and they've made a couple of moves to get better.
That is a good point. I just think last night is probably their best given the offense that they were facing.
You think Cardinals are a lot better than the Rams offensively?
I think they're harder to stop than the Rams
They're
when you look
different
at how they played Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And while, yeah, Kyler Murray had a good day through the air, that offense is totally different when you keep him in the pocket. He's not rushing. He had 5 attempts for 15 yards, and you saw some of those moves paying off. Carlos Dunlap, an acquisition over the last couple weeks, had that final sack on the night. And they have enough talent to where they can be that defense because that offense is so good. Even with Russ taking a little bit of a step back, just the turnovers, maybe Preston trying to do too much over the last few weeks, you're not counting them out of any game because of those weapons and what Russell Wilson can do. So if you just kind of give the defense an opportunity to fly around, and I think it was actually an impressive game for both defenses and what Arizona did ultimately on the night as well. And I still like both these teams. That was a huge step forward. Now Seattle's sitting there 7-3. Now the difference is that was Arizona's first loss in the division. Arizona's 2-1. Seattle is 2-2. So still an opportunity for the Cardinals to get it back.
Yeah, they've got a lot of opportunities, and that division is going to play each other quite a bit over the next bunch of times. So they've got plenty of time to get it back. All right, there was some news in the NFL yesterday. First of all, Cowboys. Andy Dalton came out and kind of we really glazed over this when it happened. Andy Dalton went out. It's been 3 weeks ago now, right? Because they had the bye week. They played the DiNucci game, the Garrett Gilbert game, the bye week. So it's been 4 weeks, right? That he went out with a concussion, and you figured, all right, well, he'll be out for a game or two. Oh wait, because then he went on the COVID list. And I don't think we gave much thought to the COVID list with him. He said that it hit him pretty hard the first day. And then it kind of tapered off, and by the end, he was ready to be out of protocol. I don't know if he comes back. JJ, I don't know what the effect of COVID is on players, and I think it's going to be different on each one, lingering effects. And I think one thing we know about the disease is that it affects everybody differently. We've heard about the long haulers, people who have symptoms for a long time. I'm not telling you that's him. But we've talked about Cam, right? And Cam coming back and is part of his slower comeback from when he was out due to anything lingering from COVID, and I don't think we may ever know that. But that's quite a one too, because a concussion, a brain injury, is nothing just to kind of gloss over, and then he got the COVID, and he talked about it. It was a pretty serious one too for Andy Dalton.
Yeah, you have to take it into account. Like I said, it's because we've seen players go on the COVID list. We've seen it in college athletics, games you postpone and cancel, and you just kind of put it in your back of your mind like, oh, that's a bummer. See you when you get out on the field. And there are cases that definitely are going to affect these NFL players, even in the shape they're in, to a different extent. And I do think, with Cam Newton, you saw he just looked slow. He looked off coming back. And now you have Andy Dalton acknowledging that he did have symptoms that he felt and affected him. It's something to watch for, and that's always the scary thing in this is you're doing what you can to try to mitigate the spread through your team, but yet as the individual, when you get it, you still have a major effect on you.
That's right. No, that's right. And it's you. And there are, as much as we hear about athletes, I just got it, and I know you got a buddy, and I got a buddy, and we all got a buddy who got it. Yeah, I just had the sniffles. It was no big deal. It was more of an inconvenience. And I think that's great. That's great for your buddy. Or maybe it was you. But there are plenty of people who do get knocked down by this thing, is witnessed by more than 250,000 people who passed away. And so it's going to be interesting. I don't know that we see Andy Dalton this weekend. I don't know that we don't. Because I've not seen anything definitive anywhere. Have you, in regards to who quarterbacks the Cowboys this weekend?
Nothing definitive. Yeah. He's in the mix, but I'm right there with you. I don't think it's a guarantee.
Yeah. All right. And then we got another yesterday afternoon, just kind of, and the only reason I saw this, to be honest with you, and I think this is significant, is I was checking some fantasy football stuff. DeAndre Swift, who quietly or maybe not so quietly has taken over the backfield in Detroit, who's become pretty good, both as a runner and as a pass catcher, and a really solid weapon for them. And he's taken over that backfield from Kerryon Johnson and Adrian Peterson. Concussed, evidently, during practice Wednesday or Thursday, and with the protocol, odds are he will not play. It's a team that I think can beat you. Look, I'll eat it on this one. I was wrong with this one on Detroit. I just thought that this was the year that they were going to make a move, but that's still a team that can jump up and bite you and beat just about anybody in the league, and certainly beat the Panthers, who they play this week.
Yeah, especially with the question marks for Carolina. Teddy Bridgewater, questionable. McCaffrey,
out.
Trending towards out. That is a winnable game for the Detroit Lions.
And so with Swift out, I think that's big for them. So you just watch them, and then you're watching the COVID list and the COVID stuff going on. Kansas City, Kansas City, the Las Vegas game, which is your Sunday night game. A lot of COVID stuff. What's the best game of the week? Is it the Monday night game? Is it Rams and Bucks?
I think that one is really good.
Rams and Bucks is really good, right? I don't know. Do you get fired up for the Eagles and Browns?
Packers Colts.
Packers Colts is sneaky good because I don't think people are buying into the Colts. Yeah, and the Colts defense. Colts are doing it defensively. Their defense is good enough to make a run. I don't know if their offense is good enough to make a run, but their defense is good enough to make a run in the AFC. Don't you agree?
Yes, I believe in them more so than the Chicago Bears, but they're two similar teams that have a conference winning level defense, but you're unsure about the offense. Now, I do like Indianapolis as more of a threat than Chicago at that point, but it feels like they have a ceiling due to the offensive limitation.
No matter what I think of Phillip Rivers this year, I feel more comfortable with him in that offense than I do with whoever you're going to throw out there with the Chicago Bears.
100%.
Whether it was a Tyler Bray, Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, no matter what and I agree with you on the defense, but no matter who you're going to throw out there with the Bears, I feel way, way better, even though Phillip Rivers is aged and back towards the end of this whole thing. I still see flashes of him and at least a confidence of I've been there, I know how to do this. 505-246-0610 if you want to get here. Follow JJ on the Twitter. It's _JJ Buck. On the Facebook, the OD in the AM, and our emails are coming in this morning. Jeff at 610knml.com, JJ at 610knml.com. We got college football tomorrow, but we got college football tonight. Lobos and Air Force. You can listen to that over on News Radio KKOB. Kickoff is at, 7:30? What time do you start the pregame show?
Pregame starts at 6:30.
So 7:30 kickoff. JJ will have the pregame show over on News Radio KKOB at 6:30, and then he'll be here for that long post-game show afterwards as well. So look at you got a lot of time here in the studios, although you go next door for that one.
Yes. I would say it's long. We do our best to make it efficient in the post-game. Make sure you hit everything that's needed,
my
but
point
get
is
you out in a timely manner.
You're here it's 6:45 in the morning, whatever time you got here, and then you're going to be here. And if it's 7:30, 10:30, Portnoy's Pro post-game shows go about an hour and a half. So you're here till after midnight tonight? No?
Well, Portnoy does one segment and then he tosses it.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't get to drag those things on anymore. I'm sorry. He doesn't get to do the full game and then right. You're part of the regular post-game show. It's a good format, actually. It's a good format. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about the Lobos' new basketball home. South Plains College is where they're going to be, and what that means. And obviously a lot of talk yesterday, and I got a ton of calls off of the air about this, and people want to talk about the Lobos, the Aggies having to move out of state and what it all means. We'll get into that coming up next. Gentlemen, time to feel like you again. Coming towards the end of 2020. Do not let this year be an excuse for you to deal with lack of energy, erectile dysfunction, or hair loss. Call New Mail and feel better. New Mail's helping thousands of men all over the country, guys maybe like you, who are done living with low T, ED, even depression. You can call New Mail at 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688, or visit newmail.com and take care of it. You see, New Mail is the leader when it comes to men's health. They're right here in Albuquerque. They're the first. They're the best when it comes to this. They were the originators in this field, and they've continued to stay on the cutting edge with the latest treatments. So do yourself a favor and call New Mail at 505-652-1688. It is not going to go away by ignoring it, and honestly, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Men reach a certain age, low T, lack of energy, ED are all natural. You can beat nature with New Mail and feel better. It's time, fellas. Take care of yourselves. New Mail's right here in Albuquerque. 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688 and feel better.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Forward dribble, spin cycle, up and under move. What a pass, wrap around pass.
Harris, Legate, the long bomb, 3 ball.
Oh, great steal by Quinteros, lays it up and scores.
A whole little jump step in the... And look out, here comes Agbayosi, Crawford. That's blocked. Lansing says, get that out of here. Sister to sister, Marianne Lansing's going to go all the way. Turnaround. Ramos, pump fake, everyone bites. Ramos hits. Jackson loses it. David Bond back, LAU, put it down. Dunkalicious, how about it? He's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's going to walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly. Cardinals fly. To the other side. Provide some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out. See you later. Good night. Touchdown. Webskowski. Day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man! Touchdown! Wildcat! Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Skowski on the sideline! Asta Manana! He's off to the races! Touchdown! Clovis!
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24. Rancho late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Then the idea of, okay, even though you have them all day, you still have to spread it out and give them an opportunity to, one, do the most important thing, which is school, and then two, find time within your schedule. And they still need some rest. They still need to eat. They still need to do all those things. So the organization of it, just like everything that's been with COVID, you change the schedule every minute, every 30 minutes, every hour. That doesn't change, and just go with the flow. If you act like it's no big deal, the kids will respond the same way.
Danny Gonzalez on Lobo Talk. That one I did hear. That wasn't on Thursday night. That was on Wednesday. That was Danny Gonzalez just talking about every day. You know, what are you doing every day? They still need time to go FaceTime with their girlfriends, their moms, their family. They still need time to go to school. They still need time to just be on their own. How do you do it? I think there's going to be some pretty good books written out of this, or at least there could be. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck, Micah Alden, and Josh on the ProView. JJ, I've said this in perspective is everything, right? You can look at anything and just say it's going to be miserable, or we're going to go on an adventure and we're going to have a great time. I think when this is all said and done, 20 years from now, and I know I've said it on this program, that these guys are going to have a story to tell. Remember the COVID year? Oh, yeah, we were part of the COVID team. And I do. I think there's going to be a pride to that. It was Coach Gonzalez's first year, and remember Coach Long was there, and we were on the road. We were living in Vegas. Oh, it wasn't fun. No, we couldn't get out of the hotel. And then there's going to be the guy, oh, I'll tell you what, that one time I got out of the hotel. They'll tell that story 10 years later or whatever. But I just think the camaraderie and the stories and the memories that are going to come out of it. I'm not going to tell you it's fun. I'm not going to tell you it's preferable. I'm not going to tell you this is how they would choose to do it. But I do believe when it's all said and done, the opportunity here for bonding and growth and just having something that you've done that very, very few others have done is going to be something that I think is going to draw a sense of pride and just be great stories for a long time to come.
Just want to make the best of your situation. Lemons and lemonade, whatever cliche you want to throw out there. You could easily find yourself going down the wrong path during this time. And even with, a local football player, just, at this resort, but they don't do anything. Like, they're not going around, bouncing around Las Vegas, going to the Strip, going out. It's very regimented. And so you just have to have a positive mindset. You have to be focused on the goal of like, hey, well, do what we have to do, but we get an opportunity to play football. And, the coaches will tell you that's why these guys are here. That we heard it from Chris Jans. He's like, they're doing everything necessary because they want to play. Mm-hmm. Like, this is why they're at these universities. It's for this opportunity. So you expect them to handle it as best you can, but it goes back to leadership and having that voice at the top, having the coaches, your position guys, still spread the right message, say, keep working, let's keep our heads up, let's go, because this isn't going to be like this forever.
The resort they're staying isn't close to the Strip. Have you ever been to Lake Las Vegas? This is up in Henderson. So, and the only reason I've stayed there is we were there for a lacrosse tournament how many? It seems like a million years ago now, but I want to say it was 2 Februaries ago, and stayed at that hotel. And there's a golf course by there. They can't play. But there's nothing. All the restaurants, like, and I don't even know what's open, but it's kind of an enclosed little area. Their hotel, but they're a long way away from any of the fun. Now you can see it down there in the valley. You're kind of up on the hill, but you can see it.
The lights.
There's no doubt. You absolutely can. But I just think there's going to be interesting stories come out of it. The men are going into it. The women are going into it. Local basketball is in Texas. The ladies are in Amarillo. Men are in Loveland, Texas. So it's going to be South Plains College, and that's where they're going to be. The place looks, completely acceptable to go practice basketball, right? It's the Texan Dome, and that's where they're going to play, and they're going to practice, and they're excited, and the coach there said, we're thrilled to have them here. Hopefully this will assist them, and getting this together. Eddie was with us yesterday. It's the detail in it is insanity, and just trying to now figure out games. They leave today, right? Today being Friday? They get on the bus and they're heading out there. I hope they're looking at it the same way. And I'm going to tell you, and we haven't heard from Paul, and certainly I put in a request for Paul to come on the show. I think New Mexico State's going to look at this as just because we heard from Jans, right? We heard Chris talk about it. I think this totally takes on the personality of a head coach. This is a leadership moment. I said this yesterday. If Paul looks at this as an opportunity, if Bradbury looks at this and says, all right, we got an opportunity to play, as opposed to look at the negatives. Well, we're not at home. We're not here. You can't do that as a leader. And I'm not telling you that that's how they're going to. But obviously what Danny has done every time we've talked to him, he looks at the positive, looks at the opportunity. We got a chance to get up and do something today. Whereas if we weren't doing this, we wouldn't have this opportunity. Assuming that Paul and Bradbury both say, all right, this is great. Look what our administration has done for us. We have this chance. Let's go, and let's get ready. I think this can be a positive. If for some reason there's a crack, and my feeling, JJ, because this is a smaller group where fractures can accelerate quicker, and we kind of watched that with last year's team. It almost feels like it's tougher to manage a group of 12 to 15 athletes than it is, 80.
Yeah, because to your point, one. It's the whole sour apple spoils the whole bunch, and that's the case in a basketball locker room even more so than football, because one or two of those guys affects 4 or 5, and that's half your basketball team at that point in time. But it's something to watch for, because coming into this year, Paul Weir talked so much about chemistry. He just said this team felt different. There was a different level of buy-in with the character of this squad. It's something that a couple of players have mentioned. So now you'll find out, is that all just the off-season talk that you say leading up to a season, or is that something that is real? Because you're going to need that right now. You're going to need to like the person that you're rooming with. You're going to need to really like your teammates, because you are not going anywhere. You're not seeing anyone else other than those guys.
So here's that opportunity on that bonding chemistry piece. Remember when Lobo football used to go to Rudoso? Oh, we're going to go bond. We're going to get away from everything, and we're going to go bond, and it's just going to be, and granted, that was pre-classes, right? So that was in July or August, I think in August, before school. But this is the same concept, right? If you look at it thusly, you can say we're going to go away, and we're going to bond, and we're going to build, and it's just going to be us, and it's us against the world, and you take that mentality. And I think you've got to look at it. And JP just sent me a note, and he says, I'm surprised this hasn't gotten more national attention. I am too, to be honest with you. Now, there was a story, CBS Sports did one on Lobo football last week, right?
Oh, there was the athletic piece.
The athletic piece, that's what it was. The athletic did. But I guess, this will start to get more attention but I'm really surprised that the fact that these 4 programs, men's and women's programs at these 2 universities, are the only ones that are having to do this. I think it will get more national attention. But I just think you've got an opportunity to do something and tell stories and just go bond. And look, the option is don't play. Is it imperfect? Yeah, but this is what makes great teams, great stories, great programs, right? You hear all the time about the year of adversity. Pick whatever it is, whatever game, whatever program. And I firmly believe, and this is why I wish we were talking more to the student athletes. And they're just, for whatever reason this year, the timing, they're not as accessible to us as they've been in the past. But I want to hear those stories.
I think the one difficult thing, though, for the Lobos, both men and women's basketball teams right now, is having a goal.
Yes.
Because they're going out there to practice.
The uncertainty of when and who we're going to play.
Yeah. Are they going to be able to put a game together? Because when you start looking at South Plains College, once that came down and you'd said, all right, that's where the Lobos are going, you feel, okay, this could be a place. Maybe it's not a big name, but bring in a university that's available, whether it's, like you're seeing New Mexico State playing Arizona Christian next week, or just something along those lines to get going. And that's the next step. Is get out there, get practicing, get settled, and then see, all right, what is our goal? Because it doesn't look like it's the start of conference play, which is supposed to be December 3rd and 5th for the men. So what's the next step?
Yeah, I think that's right. The uncertainty of what are we practicing for? Against whom, when, and where are we going to play? And I think it's going to take a little bit more next week when they're sitting in their rooms in West Texas after practice and they're watching other people play on television. When there's games on your TV, when Nevada's playing, San Diego State plays UCLA next week. Why aren't we playing? Why can't we play Central, Lubbock, Christian, Eastern Plains State? Right? I mean, and I think that's fair. 505-246-0610. Rod sent me an email, jeff@610knml.com. So sounding good this morning, Jefferson. I forgot how good this OD sounded when the crew was in a real studio. You're exploding out of my radio speakers. He says, by the way, can I make a prediction? The next thing to be canceled will be high school graduations. Remember when they were told that they were still able to do something in person for the 2020 grads? How far out of the window is that now? Oh, it's gone.
I never had my graduation.
You didn't? Your college graduation?
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, we had a little virtual. They announced my name, but nothing.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's yes. It's amazing to me. Everybody's got a different date. Audrey told me, I'm going to tell you the first time we're going to get to go out and celebrate, it's going to be Independence Day, July 4th. And I'm like, oh. And then, other people are saying, well, March Madness. And everybody's got their date in mind. And then I got other people saying, yep, wait till 2022. So I'm like, shut up. Who knows, man? But now there's maybe 3 vaccines. Just get them out. Let's get them out. All right. I want to hear from you on Lobo basketball, South Plains College. Lobo football tonight against Air Force. Who is going to quarterback your Cowboys this weekend? The Andy Dalton situation is fluid, COVID, and concussion. A brain injury and a deadly virus. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
If you need...
Call it as Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's going to walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinals fly. To the other side, provides some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out! See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. An 8. 2 receivers at the top. Harris has all day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man. Touchdown. Wildcats. Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Webskowski on the sideline. Hasta mañana. He's off to the races. Touchdown, Clovis.
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24. Rancho late in the third. How about this run. Nice play. Dickerman, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's going to go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's grabbed. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm. Wow. Santa Maria.
And so they'll send one deep and returnable at the 2. Usually Volcano do either a reverse or a fake reverse, and here it is a reverse. And a move to the outside. There is a lane. Look out! Shot out of a cannon. Rodriguez is going to take it all the way.
Second field goal, he's got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova tried to throw it off Romero. A 3 for
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good. Here's Ramos, step back, high arcing, 20!
But he needed to get his legs back under him.
Ooh, a little kick.
They leave it one more time to Hammer.
Look at this, they're not going to score again. Look at this.
Up top! Yes, and the finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak, ahead of the pack. Davina Lovato, up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
That protocol and just trying to get back feeling normal and everything. And right when I thought I was feeling normal, COVID, I got hit with COVID, and so then had to go through that protocol too before I could even get cleared from the concussion and everything. And so it was a crazy 3 weeks for me.
It's Andy Dalton, Cowboys quarterback. Crazy 3 weeks. I don't know if he's going to play this week. They play the Vikings, coming off a bye. So you might get some Garrett Gilbert. You might get some Andy Dalton. You might get, and you're playing a Vikings team, by the way, who's playing a lot better, especially defensively. But they got Dalvin Cook cooking, and that's what you get this week. Do you got your NFL schedule in front of you for what games we're going to have here on the Sports Animal this weekend?
I do.
What do you got?
We've got 10:30 Titans at the Ravens. At 2, we got the Jets at the Chargers.
Jets are
Your
gonna
favorite
win.
game right there.
It's my favorite game.
And then 5:30 for the Sunday night game, we got the Chiefs at the Raiders.
Chiefs and Raiders. All right, that's good. Steelers might be wearing masks this weekend. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, and Micah. Josh and Alden on the ProView side. So there's a new mandate, a mask mandate in Pennsylvania, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, according and JP just sent this to me, have not been granted an exemption by the Pennsylvania Department of Health to that mask mandate, which requires athletes to wear face coverings during competition. So, Steelers play at home this weekend? I believe they do. No, they're in Jacksonville this weekend, I think. But when they come back, and this would be the Eagles as well. So the mandate requires you to wear during competition, athletes, coaches, spectators, all levels, to wear masks, including while actively engaged in workouts, competition, and on the sidelines. It's how Governor Tom Wolf's order reads. The Steelers, according to his spokesperson, were not granted an exemption. That this was not an order from the governor, but from the Secretary of Health. Now, there's contradicting statements there. The Steelers say, quote, "We have received guidance from the governor's office that our players are exempt from wearing masks during the game. All of the personnel working at an NFL game are required to wear masks in addition, blah, blah, blah." They're not going to, I mean, maybe they are, man. You know, what's the point in testing everybody? This is where, look, I get it. And I wear a mask, and I believe the mask wearing does, just commonsensically, to me, would help mitigate the spread of the virus. Does it not make sense if you're wearing a mask and I'm wearing a mask, we're in front of and I mean, just commonsensically, and if it's an airborne disease, while it may not completely erase the potential of transmission, I mean, does it make sense that it would slow the transmission? I think we're in agreements on that.
Yes,
because I know not all of our listeners are. But if you're going to test everybody who's on the field, right, and everybody's being tested 3 times a week, and they've got to get tested before they get, I mean, can we at least let them compete without a mask? Well, I guess I'm losing it there.
Well, in this case, when it's the athletic competition, you're going up against somebody, but you probably just, what is the gator? Kind of the thing that they're kind of like saying, well, maybe it's not. But I think that's probably how you get by in that case if you're an athlete. So it's less of just feeling like
well, but that thing, have you pulled one of those things up too? It's almost more.
Well, but I do understand though the sense of having everyone ultimately even wear it on the sideline, because if you still have people testing positive throughout the week, it makes sense to have.
Yeah, I get it.
What you can.
But during the competition too.
What happened to those supposed face masks that they were developing that players were going to wear at the start of the season?
Yeah, I guess that didn't. Oakley was working on those, and that was. But I mean, anything that's open, the shields, like Andy Reid's foggy shield. Yeah. I mean, come on now. Like again, let's play common sense. I understand it stops a direct spray, but does that mean nothing's getting around those outer edges and underneath? I just. In some respects, you don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be a doctor, right? In some instances, doesn't common sense tell you that's probably not all that effective? It is what it is. But anyway, that's a deal in Pennsylvania now. So I just keep an eye on it for the Eagles. Eagles play. The Eagles they're in Cleveland. I need to check. I gotta get an issue. Wentz, who's been horrible in Cleveland in that weather, or Tannehill. I got bad situation. Tannehill against the Ravens, who are going to be angry coming off of that Patriots beating.
Got some issues.
Got to go Wentz, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. It's my own little issue. All right. Drop dead date, Hefe. Governor and Dr. Scrace didn't invite 30,000 to show up at University Stadium to support the Christmas Eve New Mexico Bowl. And they gave no indication of sending you an olive branch and even allowing the game to be played in an empty gym. So what's the drop dead date? 24th, I guess. You know, working through that one, man. 12 hours until post time, Hefe. This was the old days. Remember the old days? After the award-winning OD signed off, it'd be about 12 About time to go on to the pregame show with old Stiglitz. Yeah, that was a long pregame show back in the day, remember?
Stig put in the work.
So did you. So did you. All right, I got emails on Global Basketball. We're all over the place on this one. I mean, just all over the place where emails are going.
Punched in the face with content from all over.
Yeah, well, it's all right. I actually kind of like it on a Friday. Football Friday. We'll talk golf with Nick Nee. We did Matt Malloy for so long. And by the way, Nick Nee's got his old cell phone in my phone. I still sometimes have it as Matt Malloy.
It's like when it's a stadium naming rights deal. You
Like
call it
last
what it
night
was
in
the first.
Seattle, by the way.
It's not CenturyLink Field.
No, as of yesterday, it's whatever the new name is. As of last night. We're still the opening drive, and we're still on ProView Networks at 95.9 FM, at least for now. And 95 at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. Gallegos. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Natalia Chavez, good spin. Takes a.
Here's Ramos. Nice jump stop through the.
Play with the gambling a little bit. Oh, there's a. Hill, little step, high window, and a.
Got the second. To the middle. Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry. Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis goes in. It's waved off. He did not get it off in time. Portillo.
Reverse layup. Gallegos spins, window, finishes.
There's a run coming from
Lazy pass. Here comes Crawford. It might be showtime. Shoot. They'll get one off, and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
There's a long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go. His
Ford driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good.
Nice pass on the nice block by Hernandez Crawford.
And Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalon's going to go and he puts it away. And Corbalon wants to put it down. Here comes Screechers. Brown, you can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Gershon in transition. 3-on-2. Gershon going to go all the way. Whoa, Morgan.
Moreno extra pass. And Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
Game day on a Friday for you. Oh, yeah, buddy, and we sound good, don't we? Booming out of your speakers this morning, coming to you live from a studio. A real live radio studio downtown. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. ProView Networks is downtown as well, a different location in a different bunker. Josh and Alden are there for you. Looking forward to a Lobo Air Force matchup tonight, which we think is going to be really interesting and give the Lobos an opportunity to maybe get that first victory. Air Force has not played for 2 weeks, JJ. I don't know that that's rust or health or it's been COVID issues.
3 weeks now.
Is it 3 weeks? Yeah.
It's October 31st.
Oh.
It's the last time they're on the football field up at Boise. This is not just a big game because the Lobos have an opportunity. It's a game you look at and you start raising the question, are the Lobos going to be able to take the field next week with what Utah State is dealing with? And Jerry brought it up yesterday when he said these situations is pretty much costing teams 2 games. When you have, whether it's outbreak, contact tracing, etc., you see a game postponed and then the carryover into the next week. So this is just a huge opportunity and a winnable game, and wondering, all right, when are you going to be able to take the field next? Because there's 3 Mountain West games that are canceled this weekend.
Yeah, the 3 of them shut down for COVID, and Utah State happens to be one of them. Utah State is next week's opponent, and it's a Utah State issue. You got games, and another one got shut down yesterday. With the issue was with Fresno State, right, on the San Jose State-Fresno State game, and it's a bummer for San Jose State because they're trying to make a point. Utah State, Wyoming shut down, and then UNLV, Colorado State. I know there's a lot of talk about trying to match up the teams who can play, and I think it's true. Although you can play a game on Sunday, man, you can do anything you want in 2020. I saw UCLA play the other day.
Cal.
They played on a Sunday. So could Wyoming and San Jose State play this weekend? If somebody wants to point a plane in the direction of one of those places and go, I'm sure they could. Wyoming was supposed to be home. San Jose State was supposed to be on the road. Could San Jose State get up to Laramie and freeze? I imagine. Colorado State's the other team in the mix. Wyoming and Colorado State have already played. I don't believe Colorado State and San Jose State have played. But, could you match 2 of them up? I know there's talk of that.
I think they tried, but I don't know what ultimately the reason was a no. I think they did look into Colorado State, Wyoming, just to run it back.
To run a second border war. Yeah.
To play.
So this is the second Colorado State game that's got canceled. The first one was there were no COVID outbreaks. It was just the restrictions in New Mexico canceled their first game. So they'll now play maximum of 6. And this is where you're starting to get into issues. Are you going to run games back? Are you going to make games up on the 19th? Bowl season starts on the 19th. Our game is scheduled for the 24th. Can you play games on the 19th and then turn around and play a bowl game 5 days later? I guess you can do anything you want in 2020, but
yes, because you're not going for bowl week,
right?
It's to say we'll show up, play a game, and
it's a short week.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, here we are. Oh, we get a bag of gifts. That's really cool. Thanks. I guess you can. I guess. 505-246-0610. Edward, good morning. Look at that. I got to push my own button. You didn't have to go do it, dude. I beat you to it. What's up, Edward? Oh, wait, I didn't push it right. Hold on. Damn it. There you go.
Word on the street is that you have a high level of content expertise on the button pushing mechanism.
I used to, man. It's just, I because of COVID and we've had the last 8 months worth of games canceled, and so I'm a little rusty.
Wars have been started and fought and won not only over beautiful women, but over pushing of buttons,
That's
my friend.
The absolute truth.
So, now, you're going to have to refresh my memory. Does somebody get a tramp tattoo or tramp stamp tattoo or Mike Tyson facial tattoo if the Jets win or lose this weekend?
So if the Jets beat the Chargers, Josh with ProView will get a Jets logoed tattoo on his pinky toe.
Should have been lower back.
It should have been lower back. It still should be lower back. Tramp stamp the Jets thing right there on Jay, bro.
I think Josh needs to get a Joe Namath tattoo tramp stamp in a fur coat,
Kissing Susie Cobbler. Or Susie Cobbler, I just want to kiss you.
That's a story for the rest of your life. Why do you have Joe Namath tattooed on your lower back?
Yeah, well, if you're gonna do it for crying out loud. If you're gonna go out and do, I mean, nobody's gonna see the little Jets thing on your
once
pinky
was a
toe.
Chargers fan, and then after that, no more.
Yeah, but Joe Namath kissing, I just wanna kiss you.
If you're gonna go big or go home, right? And
laying down in the stockings.
I'll even fun part of it. I'll put up some money to see that. But wow, that's great. And then our guy Sean with the Irish accent, that guy's so good. He's quickly going up the rankings on the all-time callers.
He's asked for his own segment if the Jets win. I'm like, no, but you can have 3 minutes. And he's like, well, wait a minute. Lance gets his own segment. Edward gets his own segment. I'm like, yeah, we got to do something about that.
Well, this is the Crusher Make Me Smarter, My Life Better segment, but you know, we have business to talk.
Do we?
Jeff, did you know that your Los Angeles Rams, with their Ram It slogan, they have not given up a second-half touchdown since week 3? Did you know that?
No, did not know that.
That's why you come for this content and expertise. But, you know, I have an obligation to the great city of Albuquerque. By the way, we're in Thanksgiving week coming up, and the giving of thanks and rooting for humanity and being kind, loving, caring, and sharing. I wish good tidings and health and prosperity to everyone. So with that, you know, we got all kinds of good stuff this weekend, and we'll talk about that Rams Tampa Bay game on Monday. But that's going to be a good one. You know, I think that's going to be a very interesting game on who's going to play out in the NFC going forward. You know, during the Patriots' run, their 20-year run of being Super Bowl contenders, I stayed away from picking their games. But I think they're going to run the ball all over the Texans this weekend, and they're going to cover that too. The Dolphins, you know, the Broncos have been good to me this year. I always pick against them. I think the Dolphins, who have won 5 in a row and 6 of their last 7, I think they're going to go in and cover that 3.5 against the Broncos.
Yes.
And then the Colts, I think they're going to beat up and push the Packers around.
I'm not there.
It's a 1.5-point spread. The Colts have won 3 of 4, and you know, we won the game last night. We both picked you know, Seattle last night, and I think we got the cover on that. So I'm looking to put money in the pockets for Black Friday. You know, when you're the Crusher, every Friday is like Black Friday.
Yeah,
so I share that with people.
No, that's good.
But picking some favorites this weekend, I'm 6-7-2 just from an accountability standpoint. You know, because the Browns running back, he can't get into the end zone. He runs out of bounds at the 1-yard line. So I'm just below the Mendoza line for the year.
A lot of money, man. A lot of people. All right, enjoy the weekend.
Guys, have a great one.
Is there a better TV moment? There is. But, I mean, a better meltdown on TV than Joe Namath being interviewed by Susie Cobbler. How do you say her name?
Susie Apple Cobbler.
Susie Cobbler. And he's just hammered. He's just, I just want to kiss you. And she just kind of
check on him before they did that. It's Joe Namath. Go talk to him.
And he's like, he just came out of the hospitality tent, and he is just juiced. And I just want to kiss you. Have you ever seen that? I'll find that.
Yeah, it's incredibly awkward. Didn't Joe Namath do like an ad where, was it stockings or?
Yeah, back in the day he wore legs, pantyhose.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when he was.
That should be the tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Namath laid out.
On Josh's back, Joe Namath putting on pantyhose.
Yes, Jets.
We're putting on legs. Yeah. That'd be good. That'd be really good. Hello, Rudy. How you living?
Oh, I'm doing good. You know, I'm looking forward to the Tiger Stack defensive formation tonight.
Tiger Stack defensive formation. That's what Rocky's going to throw at him?
Yeah, have you ever seen that when they run that?
Not sure. I mean, I probably have. I didn't know that's what it was called.
Well, you know, I had the pleasure and the awesomeness of actually going to an adult football camp for 2 weeks run by Rocky Long when he was coach.
2 weeks.
And he showed us his defense and how he does it, and it's really fascinating. So if they run the Tiger Stack tonight, watch for linebackers to line up behind each other. One guy behind the other guy.
Okay.
You know what that does to offensive linemen, right?
Well, they can't find them. They don't know who to block. It obviously confuses them, and they're coming from different angles. So the intent is to throw a wrench into the offensive line's blocking schemes.
Absolutely. And you don't know if that linebacker's going left, right, or dropping back in coverage, and they're sending a corner.
All right. I'll watch
so
that.
there's going to be a lot of confusion if this is run correctly on the part of the Air Force line, and that kind of takes away from their run game. So we'll see if whatever Rocky runs, it's going to be something different. I mean, when was the last time that you saw a 2-4-5? Because I had never seen that before.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. So, the one thing that Rocky will be is innovative and creative. And the more that his players can learn this scheme and know how to do their job, the better it's going to get. And, I'm just going to say it. I think it's time for this team to win a game. And I think this is the game to win. Air Force is going to try to throw the football. Let's go, Jarek, Reed. Let's continue to lead the nation in interceptions, and everybody else step up and break up a few passes. And I think the Lobos can prevail. It doesn't really matter on offense because I really think they've shown Warheim is, when the Buffalo Bills watch, I don't know if they saw that play that UNM ran against Nevada or what, but that was the exact same play that the Bills ran for a touchdown.
The one where Bryson Carroll threw it back to Trey Hall for the touchdown. Josh Allen caught one that looked very, very similar the other day, yes.
It looked to me to be the exact same play. Handoff on a jet sweep, throw back with an escort into the end zone. And knowing Josh Allen the way I know him, he might have been watching some Mountain West football before the game.
He said, Coach,
so, it's going to be a fun weekend. I hope we can get things done in this state to resume business as usual. I really hope that everybody understands how to personally protect themselves, because that's what it's all about. And let's just go have a great weekend.
Enjoy it.
I'm tired of sitting around staring at the wall.
Yeah, no, put those pots away and then get out and go do something. All right, enjoy the weekend.
I got my whole kitchen done while I'm talking to you. I'm ready for a football game. I might even have 3 people over because that's 2 below the maximum, right?
Just be very careful. All right, man, enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
I'm always careful.
Later.
Take care.
All right, we got a couple lines open for you, 246-0610. Continued conversation, Lobo basketball, Lobo football. Football tonight against Air Force on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Don't miss Lowe's Pro-Vember event because this...
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji. Into Watson with the jam.
Far with the ball again.
Another steal by Domino Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi. Lob, 2-hand hammer. You knew that was coming. The lob tag by Osi, the one-hand hammer.
Put up. And a drive from Parham.
Opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores.
Cut into it. Had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. 2-hand hammer from Murillo.
Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it. Gonna settle. Looks to the inside. Comes to the far side push. Shot on and goal. Deflected in. No.
Dorian's gonna go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. Ramos, get it! Look out. Ramos, can he chase it down? It was a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it.
What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbayosi throws it down.
Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Ericsson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy. And it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
Hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay, I got you. Measurement. I mean, Smith's got a fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
Run with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. And looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11. And spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
Throw it. Looking. Here comes the rush. Stepping up. Javier now running around.
Joe Namath back in the 70s wearing pantyhose. Yeah, he wore pantyhose.
Oh, man.
That was groundbreaking back in the day.
How many people are like, stick to sports? It's not my quarterback.
I don't wear pantyhose. Dude, what do you think it took? I mean, nowadays you'd still kind of get hit for it, right? And social media would rip you. But in the 70s, I mean, we're talking 50 years ago. Joe Namath putting on pantyhose, like when I mean, let's just say society was a little less accepting back in the day. This damn thing's gonna wear me out. 505-0610, 888-922-0610. I gotta stop looking at this beautiful bottle of Russell's Reserve that I came across the other day. 2003. 16-year age bourbon. Anyway, Jeffrey, good morning. You're on the Quantum Auto Care Hotline. What's happening?
Russell Reserve. That's a premier single barrel bourbon. It's very good.
Yeah, this is special.
Also, don't forget Burt Reynolds posed for Cosmo, but a little different. But
yeah,
he did the same.
Would you have a better? You're of the age where you'd remember. I mean, is there a better on-screen meltdown than Joe Namath? Hammered with Susie Kobler and just, I just want to kiss you.
No, but another moment in TV history, is when I believe Zsa Zsa Gabor was on Johnny Carson, and she brought a cat on, and she said something to the effect, "You want to pet my..."
Yeah, I got it.
Fill in the words, and he said, "Move that damn cat, and I will." Anyway, that was... But as a first order of business today, I wanted to call your show and share a very illuminating experience that unfolded yesterday as a direct result of your show. Yesterday, within the context of my addressing my 40-plus year perspective on Lobo basketball, I talked a little bit about from my perspective, the incremental deterioration of Lobo men's basketball over the last 10 years. One being the re-engineering of the pit, the emergence of other dominant teams in the league, the absence of competing for championships in the last 10 years, pretty much, and an aging support demographic. I also, and I do regret this, I inserted an opinion about a man that I don't know very well. We know each other. We've met each other a few times, and that's athletic director Eddie Nunez. Well, in providing that opinion, I want to say publicly I was premature and lacking enough data, personal interaction with the guy. But anyway, as a result of that comment, Eddie called me about an hour after the show. And I want to say this publicly because, you know, I try to pride myself, my show, The Gauntlet of Truth, and who I am as a man, trying to be as convicted, self-aware, and fair as possible. He called me, and he presented himself with extraordinary integrity and sincerity and humility. And we spoke for, 30, 40 minutes.
Wow.
It was a long, very open, very adult exchange. And I got to tell you, I left that conversation completely humbled, imparted with wisdom, and feeling and thinking very different about that position I held. So I wanted to thank you for that. And, you know, Eddie, your Edward's always talking about, you know, life lessons, this and that and the other. Sometimes he's doing that with tongue in cheek. Other times I think he's sincere about it. But yesterday was really an interesting life lesson for me too.
Good.
Because I did learn that prejudice and prejudging can be a very dangerous thing. And I wanted to publicly say thank you to you, and I wanted to thank Eddie for calling me. He didn't have to do that. And it wasn't just one of these calls where, you know, he's obligated to do it. It was a sincere call.
Well, so I appreciate this, Jeffrey, because I tell you, and I agree on a lot of things, and I vehemently disagreed with you on that. And I mean, you know, that doesn't mean I respect you any more or less. I just, you know, I certainly have my opinion of what Eddie's done, and I think he's done an amazing job with the situation he's got. And I'm glad that you guys were able to have that exchange, and I think it's big of you to come on and say, you know what, I might have been wrong on that one, and I got.
Well, I conduct myself that way, and my show's about that. I talk about that. I promulgate that. If I don't live it, then I'm a hypocrite. So I don't just say that because I want to say he's a great guy. I do want to say that, but your show oftentimes does provide opportunities to enjoy life lessons beyond sports, and thank you for that, and have a great day, have a great weekend, and thanks for allowing me to get to know Eddie better, and I'm going to support Eddie every way I can. Beautiful. As a result of your show.
Well, that's good.
Thank you.
Enjoy the weekend, Jeffrey. That's kind of cool. JJ, dang it. Will you hang that up? Dump line 3, please. Goodness gracious. So yesterday, and that kind of took over a little bit towards the end of the show. Right. Yesterday was, Jeffrey came on and had his opinions on Louisville basketball. Like I think he was right on as far as the aging demographic. We've had that conversation, but his comment about Eddie, he said, I'm not that impressed. And one of the big reasons was, you know, he felt that he's been a longtime booster and didn't get a call. And so first of all, I'm glad Eddie was listening, and I appreciate that, and I'm glad Eddie reached out to him. I think, you know, hey, and I don't know how that conversation went. I mean, I know both of those gentlemen, but however that conversation, I'm going to guess it went, hey, you know, what's up? What did I do to you? Or, you know, I'm sure it was not like that, but, how do we fix this? And obviously it changed the man's opinion, and you go one by one. You know my thoughts about this athletic director and the adversity that he's gone through and the class, the demeanor, and the steady hand with which I believe he's handled it. And I told you yesterday, and I'll tell you again, I think this is the toughest job in America.
Yes, with everything that's been there, from budget issues to now moving forward in this state where, hey, by the way, you can't play here, so where are you going to house your football and your basketball teams for the time being? Very difficult.
And maybe New Mexico State's is tougher, right? Maybe it is because their football conference affiliation.
Yeah, I'd say both these guys are
but both
putting in some work this year.
Yeah, no, and they are. And I know both of those gentlemen, and I know what they've gone through. And in addition, I know their staffs a bit, and leadership, you can see with the people who work for them, right? How do people respond? How are people handling adversity? And I think 2020 is the year that would define that. And yeah, man, there's tough decisions. You're not going to agree with every one of them. I mean, you're not. I'm not telling you he's perfect, and he's not telling you he's perfect. But for a first-time athletic director, and let me take that qualifier off it, because I think that's an addition to it. He is a first-time. He's never been an AD before, and handling stuff that no AD's ever handled. There's nowhere to go. And I give Eddie a lot of credit for this in the way I think, JJ. When you look at people, how are they going to handle things? How do you expect? You kind of look at where do they come from? Who are their mentors, right? With whom, who do they have in a situation where it's going to be really tough? Who do they have to go talk to consult? Like you say, Danny Gonzalez could go talk to Rocky Long, could talk to Herm Edwards. You go, wow, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. He came up through those people. Eddie's come up with some really good people, and Eddie's handled crisis. So I appreciate that call. I think it's interesting how that all played out. All right, we'll go back to you. 505-246-0610. Nick Nee at the top of the hour. We're going to recap the Masters. Dustin Johnson's big victory last week at Augusta. We got a little football tonight to get through. Harsh winter weather. You're saying, what, Jeff? It's going to be 70 what today? It's going to be record high today? We should go on a golf course if they were open? No, I get it, but the winter weather's coming. You got a little taste of it. Not good for your car, not good for your paint job, but you can give your paint job and your vehicle the protection it needs. Get a visit from On the Spot Auto Detailing, because what they do is come see you and they apply by hand a wax that will protect your clear coat from hard water stains and sun damage, so much better than that spray-on stuff, those drive-through car washes. And I did say a visit from On the Spot Auto Detailing, because they come to you at your home, at your office, and clean your vehicle inside and out. I was in the office. They were in the parking lot. I get a buzz on my phone. I'm like, oh, I forgot they were out there. Go out, my vehicle's detailed. Inside, outside, like the day I took it off the lot. Call On the Spot Auto Detailing, and it's a great gift. If you're thinking of that person who's got everything, think of On the Spot Auto Detailing. 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859, or go to otsdetailing.com.
If you're traveling,
don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Dorian over. Did he get in?
Yeah, they got in. He got in.
Touchdown, Dorian Lewis.
Seconds to play. Benavides looking, still looking up the middle. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Freddie Anaya, and Roswell's season will end perfect.
Second quarter, 2nd and 4 for Socorro at the whole 44-yard line. McDaniel trying, good block by Hicks. First down and more, 30, 25, 20. McDaniel might be gone. Touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown for Michael McDaniel.
It's 40 seconds this year. It's not like 25 like it used to be.
He laterals it back. What a play by Hightower. Pitch.
Looked like somebody moved a little bit early. Hicks, the play fake double move. He's got his receiver wide open. Caught. One man to beat. Touchdown. Touchdown to number 17, Nathaniel.
Third and 6. Big defensive play coming up here. Little trickery to Reese. See you later. Touchdown. They went for the deep ball to Reese.
To the right, single receiver split to the left. Play fake, head up the middle, got some room. 50, 45, 40, has one man to beat. 30, 25, 10, 5, touchdown. Touchdown, Hope.
Wow.
On a
option again, he'll keep it.
About the team struggling.
What year was that?
Creepy Uncle Joe.
It's just so good. I want to kiss you.
Come on, get Joe. Hurry.
And Susie was so good. That was Joe Namath. What was that? Like, was that about 15 years ago already? I want to kiss you. What was she? Like, what did Joe think she was going to do? All right.
Oh, in his intoxicated state.
Yeah, let's go right here on the sideline. It's just classic stuff. All right, 505-246-0610, Joe Namath. I just got a tweet. Did you send me this tweet on Jameis Winston? Is that?
Yes.
All right. Did you see this, JJ? According to Diana Rossini of ESPN, there are no packages, offensive packages for Jameis Winston this weekend for the New Orleans Saints. Of course, Drew Brees is out with his cracked ribs, multiple, and punctured lung, which, by the way, like, concussion sounds miserable. It does. And I'm not downplaying brain injury.
It all sounds bad.
Multiple cracked ribs and punctured lungs sounds...
Playing football hurts.
Yeah, it does. So Diana Rossini just tweeted, and Adam Schefter retweeted, Jameis Winston will not be part of any offensive packages Sunday versus the Falcons. The Saints quarterback is Taysom Hill. I'm not going to lie.
It's happening, everyone. It's happening.
Well, I mean, you
finally
going with the guy who pays $7 million a year or $1 million a year?
This is Sean Payton showing the world that he is better than everyone else. He's talked up Taysom Hill. He said, this is our guy. I don't care if our backup quarterback is on a punt coverage. He's still our backup quarterback. And every coach wants to
go back to what you just said. I don't care. It's not a throwaway statement that you just said. I don't care that our backup quarterback is on punt coverage, which is true for the first time, I think, in the history of the NFL, or at least the modern NFL.
Yeah, he's done pretty much everything outside of play defense for the New Orleans Saints. But this is a coach's dream. Coaches want to show you, I know more than you do. I am smarter than absolutely everyone. And it's the evolution of this offense. It's we're going to do something entirely different, unexpected. And here comes Taysom Hill, where you can run the read option, get him outside the pocket. It's Sean Payton's dream.
This is the week I thought Michael Thomas would finally get going with little Jameis targeting him, and now it just devalues my Michael Thomas.
Oh, yeah. So you're personally affected by this, but this is the moment that none of us believed in, and it's finally here. And it's Sean Payton going, y'all didn't think I was telling you the truth. Y'all thought I was just messing with it. Guess what? Taysom Hill.
I still don't believe in it, by the way. I just, what are we doing?
They're going to say that and then throw Jameis out there on Sunday just to throw you off guard.
You think that?
That's 100% the college football move. It's like, I can't tell you who the quarterback is because you're going to beat us. But if I throw out a different guy right before kickoff, you're not going to know what's going to happen.
Is it going to be Tavaka Tuioti or is it going to be Trey Hall? By the way, is it going to be Tavaka Tuioti or is it going to be Trey Hall?
Air Force will not know until that first.
We know is Tavaka.
I'm expecting it to be Trey Hall because I've not heard an update on Tavaka being cleared.
All right. Lance, happy Friday. Dang it! What is with like?
Just have Micah do it.
I know, but do I get to talk? Are you done?
Well, it's my show. It's our show. What do you mean? Do you get to talk?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I could talk.
Yeah. Please.
You know, I mean, I had to wait after Jeffrey the wine.
All right.
Also, too, you know, right away, Edward, 3 weeks in a row, it's not that difficult to pick the Broncos to lose. It's a card thing.
I'll give him a point. He's made a really good point. Edward's pretty proud of himself for picking the Broncos to lose, and it's really not that damn difficult.
3 weeks in a row, and they're terrible.
Yeah, no, best point you've made in a month.
Patriots to lose or somebody else. It's just, you know, it's fine. No, I mean, you know, when you win Super Bowls, you have to realize you're going to go through a lot of times like this, and I grew up like that. So, but anyway, you know, I was watching the NBA draft on Stadium, and there's the guy, his plant's dying in the background. That's all I can focus on. I'm like, you know, it was Brandon Williams, you know, NBA player, and you're like, dude, your plant's dying. And I didn't even listen to a word he said. I'm like, you know, just go water the plant. So I was really worried about that. And I did want to go on, you know, like Caliendo, you know, the comedian that used to be on Fox.
Yeah.
You know, and there it was one day on the Sausage Ram show that our buddy that calls in your show told me the truth. You know, me and him both won Baller Caller of the Week and got our shirts and everything, you know.
Sure.
And you know, I'm sitting there thinking, you know, what is, so there is the salsa I sent him. Right there on the table, and it was cool watching on TV. You know, the salsa I sent was right there on the table, and Caliendo, he didn't even talk to him. He just sat there and ate the salsa the whole show long. So at least I got my.
Well, you got that. You got that.
And they're sitting there like, you're not talking to us, and he's sitting there eating the salsa.
Good salsa.
It's really funny.
All right.
And in ProView.
Yeah, ProView. You guys.
Yeah, reruns. I mean, they're showing it on Stadium, you know, and I'm really happy with that. I mean, you know, and it's ProView stuff. Even some were from here.
See?
You know, basketball and
that's where they're from. That's where they're from.
I'm
All right.
really happy that they did that. It was like in the middle of the night when I turned it on.
They got programmed.
And you mentioned
walked away
you know,
from the
Michael Cage.
Michael Cage.
Yeah. And Steve Coulter, from the Aggies. He was just unbelievable. This is like back when Marvin Johnson was around too.
Back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
He would just pull up Steve Coulter from the
splash.
They didn't even run an offense. He would just go across the half court line with the big old fro and just pull up and shoot and nail it. You know, and just.
All right, Lance, I got to move.
All right, brother.
All right, enjoy the weekend.
Good weekend.
Thank you. No, it's good going back to the day. Little Uncle Joe in there.
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less about what you're talking about.
I could do that again. The whole thing. I love the whole thing. Could you have Susie's reaction to it? How'd we get on Joe Namath? Oh, it's going to be on Josh's back. Yeah, he's getting the tramp stamp of Joe Namath kissing Susie Culver.
That's a cool tattoo, man. Joe Namath?
Yeah, it's way cooler than a little Jets tattoo on your little pinky toe. Way better.
What does it mean to you now when the team is struggling?
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
It was awful.
That's
I couldn't care less.
So that was
team struggling.
Was that 2007?
Is that when that was?
Yeah, I saw a video.
It says 2007 from the video.
Timestamp was, but
that's 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Man.
That is the exact same reaction Jet fan has today. I could care less if they're struggling.
I just want to kiss you. They're going to kiss Justin Herbert on the way out the door after they beat the Chargers this weekend. Where's Justin Herbert? I want to kiss you in your little boy face. That's how it's going to go. Is that weird? Was that was too much? I crossed the line? I went too far that time? All right, sorry if I crossed.
They're not even in the same building, and all those guys
like, oh, that was a little too much.
Like, oh,
all right. All right, Jack sent me an email. I got a line of emails I got to get to you at Jeff@610knml.com, JJ@610knml.com. Jack says, 4th of July, not holding my breath, Jeff. After hearing reports yesterday of an expected new strain of COVID coming out of the southern hemisphere next summer, their winter, that will be impervious to these vaccines. I don't see things changing anytime soon. Thank you, Jack. All right. Hopefully you like your homes. Omar, 1st to 6th, Jeff. I'm back and refreshed after the bye week. I think the first club to 6 wins is going to take our division. And a 4-3 finish is very possible for the Dallas Cowboys. Even at 2-7, we're only a length and a half back with plenty of time to go. Cowboy fan at 2. Is there a 2-7 team ever? Except for in baseball. And I guess in basketball. Has there ever been a 2-7 football team that says, oh, yeah, we got a chance to win this thing? No. Not even in fantasy football, right? You start out 2-7, you're like, even in fantasy football, you're done. All right, Nick Nee at the top of the hour. I got a bunch more of your stuff to get through. You're calling at a pretty good clip at 505-246-0610. We got a little football to talk about, a little basketball. Last night's Seahawks Cardinals game where the Seahawks won. We got the draft. We got a full weekend of stuff coming staring at you. So we got all of that to do, and your opinions on that. Cowboy fan. Oh, and I want to get more into this. Jameis Winston, no packages. Like Taysom Hill's now the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. I got that for you as well. This happens way too often, and especially with COVID. Business owners go home, and they get a call in the middle of the night, or they show up in the morning, and they're victimized by a break-in, and it takes a long, long time to recover. Do not let this happen to you. International Protective Service is a security company that I trust to watch my home. They provide highly trained, armed guards that watch your business when you can't be there. Watch your home when you can't be there. You get a full-time guard or patrol, and if your alarm goes off, IPS responds within 5 to 7 minutes with an armed, trained security officers. Look, the bad guys don't care. They just don't. You're going to have packages on your doorstep now that the holidays are coming and we can't go to stores, and we're going to do all our shopping by e-commerce, and stuff's going to get dropped off. They don't care. They just want your stuff. Don't be a victim. Call IPS and get that sense of security that you need. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420, or go to ipsglobal.com.
It's okay to do something halfway, but not when it comes to managing.
30, 25, 20, up the sideline, still inbounds, into the end zone. Let's see.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Portell.
The outside, running an out route. Davis sending a play action, looking. He's going to go back to Lewis, and Lewis makes a cut, and Lewis still on his feet. Dorian Lewis is in for a touchdown. Can he get it there? Davis into Luke Weissong.
We told you he
touchdown.
Could spin that football, and that was a throw right there. I know he's got the win in his back, but
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Evans has that ball stolen. Jeremy Segura.
Dribble, spin cycle, up and under move. What a pass. Wrap around pass.
Harris, Legate, the long bomb, 3 ball.
Oh, great steal by Quinteros, lays it up and scores.
A whole little jump step in the... And look out, here comes Agbayosi. Crawford set. That's blocked. Lansing says, get that out of here. Sister to sister, Marianne Lansing's going to go all the way. Turnaround. Ramos, pump fake, everyone bites. Ramos hits. Jackson loses it. Jalen Bond back, LAU, put it down. Dunkalicious, how about it? Call it as Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's gonna walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez starts.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinals fly.
We're looking to make a noise now, and I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah!
Huge compliment. Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. What a huge compliment. I mean, he's been drinking the Russell Special Reserve all night long.
That's not iced tea.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Let's just put Joe Namath on after pull him out of the hospitality tent in the second half. Beautiful. He's doing another commercial now. He's selling me something.
Medicare?
Something. I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably that or a reverse mortgage or...
Whatever, man. There's a demo for that too, you know.
How about Car Shield? Can we talk about Car Shield for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
And
Chris Berman?
Berman and Ice-T. It's like the wildest, like, who do we need? Berman and Ice-T.
They hit everybody, don't they?
And you're like, Ice-T. Then you realize it's T on one of the mini SVUs.
Yeah.
So he's
yeah.
got that demo.
Yeah.
That's just very interesting.
How
spokesman.
people know him. Yeah.
Chris Berman and Ice-T.
Car Shield. All right, Air Force and Lobos tonight. You can listen to it over on News Radio KKOB. What's the TV on that? FS1, 2, CBS? Where are they tonight? Figured we'd hear from Mike today. Mike, good morning. How you living?
Morning. Yeah, it is FS1. and Joe Namath was on a reverse mortgage. I'm taking Lobos tonight, 35-24.
Really?
I just don't. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't have much faith in this year's Air Force team. They fooled people with that Navy win, and they don't have the running attack. I don't know if Remsburg's going to play. I just don't. Neither team's got a pass defense, but I think the Lobos quarterback, whoever it is, will pass against Air Force better than the Air Force would against the Lobos. I just don't have any faith in this year's team.
Right.
And this year being so screwed up, I figured it's going to happen. And a couple of other points. Anybody wants to watch a local guy play before the Lobo game at 5:30, Purdue at Minnesota, if you want to tune that in, number 78 on Purdue's offensive line, Grant Hermans. So I just thought, from Rio Rancho, if anybody wants to, who hasn't seen him play, catch him. He's a top-notch offensive lineman.
Really good. No, he's playing really well for them. Really well.
And hope Josh gets a chance. I heard that yesterday. I thought he was eligible this whole time. I didn't realize he wasn't, but because I know he transferred. But
they had applied for it, and it's just crazy, and everything's crazy about it. But in the middle of the year, in November 15th or whatever they decided, that's when they finally ruled on it. I don't know where Josh is in regards to his status on the team. JJ had a great point. He could really help them on special teams, but I want to see him get a chance.
Yeah, I hope he gets a chance at running back, too, because of all the guys in Rio Rancho, I've definitely missed on a couple of guys in the past I thought would have an impact. And conversely, there's been a couple of walk-ons that the Lobos have had that I didn't think were D1 players, so it kind of balances itself out. But I really thought he was going to dominate. In high school, he was the best they've had since the great Chris Williams. And he got like 340 some yards against one of the Las Cruces teams, and he played a half.
Yes.
And I think it was Mayfield.
It was Mayfield. It was a season opener.
Yeah, and one of the Las Cruces coaches said he was the best high school running back he'd ever seen. So I just hope he gets a shot.
I do too.
So that's all I got. So like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but Lobos 35, Air Force 24 tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Enjoy the weekend.
He's
talking about Josh Foley, the running back from Rio Rancho, who gray shirted at New Mexico State, transferred to New Mexico, and he was phenomenal in high school. And then remember, he broke his leg, came back 5 months later, won a state championship in track and field in the hurdles, and then came back for his senior year. And not necessarily today, but I hope he gets a chance with the Lobos, because I want to see what he does at that level.
I think it will. And like I said, it's the area I'd be looking at first and foremost is special teams. And they actually last game put Nate Jones back there because Bryson Carroll had made some mistakes. And I think Nate Jones did give them a spark, but it's an opportunity because I think you look at Nate Jones and Bobby Cole, they're physical guys. But if you're looking maybe for that explosiveness and Bryson Carroll, he threw the pass last week, but his rushing attempts have gone down. It opens that door.
Yeah. Marty, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Marty.
Good morning, gentlemen. I was curious about something. I got a question pertaining to this. Lobo basketball starts. So they're going to play home games twice somewhere. So game officials, how do they get tested? Do they travel together? Do they room together?
I don't know. And I'm not sure they figured that out for basketball yet. Yeah,
different concept.
Marty, there's been a conversation on this, and because the basketball officials travel every day. And, you'll see David Hall in the pit on a Tuesday night, and you'll see him in Pauley Pavilion doing a UCLA game on Wednesday, and then you'll see him in San Diego on a Thursday. Like, these guys are all over the place, and so I don't know the answer to that. I know there's been a conversation on it. I don't know. I'm going to guess for these pod games, right, JJ, where you're going to play the same team on Thursday and Saturday, you're going to probably have the same officials. Because of the travel issues, but I don't know that they figured out the testing and the whole travel conversation.
Do they get a per diem?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, see you. Yeah, that's part of the conversation. Look, everything in the COVID era is you're asking about bus drivers. How are they tested? You're asking about. Literally everything is reevaluated as you run events. where Lobo's going to play. I think that's another piece of why they've got to figure out where and how they're going to play, because at some point the conference has to schedule officials.
Yeah.
They got to book travel, because if you're booking commercial travel, and which would have all been done by now, right? In a regular year, Anthony Travel would have all this done. It'd be done. Well, nothing's regular about this, obviously. But, JJ, if you don't know if you're sending these guys to Lubbock or to Albuquerque or to Vegas for New Mexico home game, I mean, at some point, I feel for Eddie, right? Because he knows that New Mexico's holding up so many of the league's plans. There's nothing he can do. But at some point, there's going to have to be, all right, what are we doing?
Yes, the what are we doing
television
is the biggest question of the year.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of times you say, I don't know.
Where you sending your TV crew, right? They would have already had, I mean, because as you know, you make flight plans outside of 2 weeks a hell of a lot cheaper than it is 7 days, 5 days, right? And we just tell you, expenses are paramount right now. Nick Nee, when we come back, the head PGA professional at San Diego Golf Club, will recap the Masters. Big Dustin Johnson win on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
And off to Webskowski again. Look out! See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. Day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man, touchdown, wild catch. Not a defender inside. A little bit. Kowski on the sideline. Hasta mañana. He's off to the races. Touchdown, Clovis.
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24 Rancho, late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's going to go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's Krebs. Touchdown. What a play.
Long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught! Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm! Wow. Santa Maria!
And so they'll send one deep and returnable at the 2. Usually Volcano do either a reverse or a fake reverse, and here it is, a reverse. And a move to the outside. There is a lane. Look out! Shot out of a cannon. Rodriguez is going to take it all the way.
Second fielder has got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova tried to throw it off Romero. A 3 for...
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good... Here's Ramos, step back, high arcing, 20!
But he needed to get his legs back under him.
Ooh, a little kick.
They leave it one more time to Hammer.
Look at this, they're going to go score again. Look at this.
Up top! Yes! with a finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak, ahead of the pack to Davina Lovato. Up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. Gallegos. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Natalia Chavez, good spin. Takes it.
Here's Ramos. Nice jump stop too.
Played with the gambling a little bit. Oh, there's a...
Hill, little step, high window. With a...
Got the second.
To the middle. Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry. Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis. It's waved off. He did not get it off in time.
Hello, friends. Dustin Johnson. One for the ages. All right, that was last week. Dustin Johnson will defend the Masters title, his green jacket. He'll do that in about 5 months. Tempting Nick Nee. But as we look back on a week last week, I don't. It was really different. And JJ, I've watched a lot of golf. I've watched a lot of events. I mean, I think we've become numb now to watching events without spectators, or as they say at the Masters, without the patrons. The Masters was different without the patrons, wasn't it? I mean, like basketball games are different, but we got used to the whatever it is we watch. Football games don't feel as different because you don't see them as much. Like the way the action is shown, it's so much you just see the field, right? Until they show the lower angles of replays, you're like, damn, it looks like practice. The Masters to me was one where, okay, this one's really different.
Yeah, it's something you definitely notice, especially on the tee shots and just how wide open everything looks without the fairways and tee boxes being lined.
Yeah, and then around, the walk-up 18 and what it would have been for DJ. But it is what it is, man. It's COVID, and what did I'm paraphrasing something I saw the other day, but stop complaining about what you don't have and be grateful for what you do. I mean, there was this, a 4-month period, 3-month period, we had nothing. We had nothing. We weren't watching any sports. And I know there's some who think we need to start thinking more about country and less about our damn sporting events, and it's un-American. But the fact that they got to go out there and do that, I thought was a big deal. So we'll keep trying, Nick, and see if he can get in. All right, here's where we are. Local football tonight against Air Force. 6:30 pregame, 7:30 kickoff over on News Radio KKOB. FS1 is your television for it. JJ will have the pregame show. Mike, who's a big Air Force guy, just called in and picked the Lobos tonight. I kind of feel Lobos tonight, too. I think this is the night for Danny's first win.
I agree, and I actually saw this morning, the number's gone up. So it's Air Force 8.5-point favorites.
Why?
I don't know. I don't see it. Like, I think this is going to be a competitive game, a tight contest. I don't think the Lobos are going to run away from Air Force, but I don't see how it's going the other way. Because, all right, you're going to run the option, but still, who's it going to be? Hazik Daniels or Warren Byron? They've had issues there. The running back position, Caden Rimsberg has been out, and he was their marquee guy. Who's going to be available at the tailback position? It's one where there's a lot of questions for Air Force. I don't know where this confidence is coming in that they're going to run away with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I see that number going up. First of all, I don't think Air Force is all that good. They've been off for 3 weeks. I think Nevada's better than Air Force, and Lobos played competitively with them and had the ball and were driving for a potential game-tying touchdown, and so they would have gone for 2. So they had an opportunity. If you're going to give me 8.5, I'll take New Mexico.
I was taking New Mexico when it was 7.
Yeah. If you're going to give me 8.5, I'll take New Mexico. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. 888-922-0610. Emails, and I got a bunch to still get through. Jeff at 610knml.com. JJ at 610knml.com. Seahawks beat the Cardinals last night 28-21. A big game. Good thing I switched over and got the Cardinals kicker, too. I got 3 whole points out of that. It's the worst thing ever. I freaking hate it. All right. This one's from Jeremy. Quit getting tested, Jeff. Remember when the amazing little Trumpster said cases would go down if fewer people got tested, and he was just ripped? Well, yesterday, Michelle Lujan Grisham said basically the same thing. People are getting tested and then using a negative result as false sense of security to engage in high-risk behavior. They're not exactly the same thing, Jeremy, but but she did say that. I think that's something yesterday that freaked people out. Even if you get tested and it comes back negative, that doesn't mean you're negative. That was yesterday's bomb. I was like, well, you can still get it because...
Well, you're not invincible.
You're not, well, but that it takes a while for the test to go positive after you've been exposed. So they're not exactly the same. Bruce said another solid call from Jeffrey. I would advise bored OD listeners to get out of their house and take a trip down Candelaria Boulevard on Saturdays from 2 to 5 over on News Radio KKLB. It's Jeffrey's show. Gets his own show. How about that? You too can have your own show. Well, maybe not. All right. That's got nothing to it. This one's from HB. He said the death of Lobo basketball. Jeff, yesterday someone said Lobo basketball used to be bulletproof. Maybe so, but not since the 70s and 80s. I think signs of wear first started to show when Davalos stole the students' seats. That was the first drip. The next strain was decades of relentless ticket price increases. A lot of folks jumped off the bandwagon to the Frashilla McKay eras, then never came back. Then the slide really picked up steam with the ill-fated $60 million university arena renovation, the Craig Cullen soap opera, and Mountain West losing BYU, Utah, and TCU. HB sent that. So there's a lot in there. So I guess the solution is bring BYU and TCU back, put the students at mid-court, and go back to the prices, probably $2 a game or whatever they were back in the 70s. And probably to take the games off of all the cable outlets.
Simple.
Yeah.
Tape delayed basketball games.
Yeah. Tape.
Force people go to the games so that's the only way they can view the product. The students back at center court.
Yeah. Yeah. Low ticket prices. Don't forget. Drop the ticket price to the 70s. Yeah.
You should only be paying, if you're buying season tickets, it should be like $1 a game.
Maybe 2. I think with inflation, maybe 2. Yeah. And take it off this damn, interwebs thing. That streaming stuff is horrible and a cable pack. Put it on channel 13 at night and bring back Mike Powers. That all makes sense. HB evolution, man. Things happen. And all those things, by the way, I'm sure all those things have contributed. I'm not poo-pooing everything. We're going back. People rip on Rudy and say, why does he bring up the 2-platoon football in the 60s? Are we still you're really telling me that the demise is none of these students who are going to games now ever were alive when the students were sitting at court?
They don't even know what 2-platoon football is.
What's the best student section of the Mountain West? This is inarguable, right?
San Diego State.
All right. Where do they sit? Just curious. Where do they sit?
Behind the basket.
Behind the basket. So can we get over this? Davalos stole their seats, and that's why the pit isn't the pit anymore. Not one.
Well, was his seat stolen? Maybe that's
this guy's seat, HB's seat, maybe, but probably not. Well, maybe he was over there, because somehow Rudy had to generate money to keep up with the Joneses, to keep paying these coaches and to pay for softball and volleyball and everything else. And so he created that Lobo level and was able to sell out, by the way, those high-priced corporate seats. It's just the way it is, man. You can't show me one, even Duke isn't operating the way they did in the 70s, in the 80s. It's just not. Now, did folks jump off during the Frashilla McKay eras? Yeah. Did they never come back? That's probably right. Did the whole Cullen Craig soap opera deal? Did that? Yeah, that was really rough. Do you remember how many hours? Because I logged them. I could tell you exactly. No, I didn't. We spent talking about Craig and Cullen and that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you of all of them, that's the worst thing that happened. And I'm not blaming it on Craig and Cullen. I'm not, or at least not exclusively. I don't know really what Cullen did except for get that technical foul by blowing a kiss in Laramie that time. Well, I guess I do. I guess he was cocky in high school and people never excused him for that. Never got over that. Never got over what they, because so many people were calling us and it was there issues with him in high school.
He was, because of who he was
in high school.
In high school. Instead of people saying, hey, this is one of ours, they always viewed him as an outsider.
Yeah. Yeah, and they loved Bryce, and Bryce went away. Look, was Bryce a more polished, seemingly nicer player on the floor? Look, I don't know. I guess. He wasn't as cocky. Cullen was a hell of a player in high school. Cullen, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he outscore Bryce in high school? One at El Dorado, one at La Cueva? But I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. I have never seen this town treat one of its own as poorly as they treated Cullen Neal. And you're going to say, he wasn't one of our own. He didn't come from here. Well, he did. He went to middle school and high school. What do you got to be from here? Right? I mean, if you're going to tell me Kenny Thomas, who spent his senior season at Albuquerque High, is from here, then Cullen sure as hell is from here, right? You claim Bryce. They got here at the same time. I've never seen this town turn on one of its own like it turned on that young man.
And it was really sins of the father that then fell on Cullen, and I think people were just so ready to be done with everything that they just went all in.
Yeah. Yes. All right, 2460610, the demise. I don't know.
That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
Things will never be the same.
Some things will never change. You got a piano?
Oh, yeah.
I want to kiss you. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Channel. I want to kiss you.
The 25K Holiday Payday. Sponsored Tortilla. Reverse layup. Spins. Window. Finishes.
There's a run coming from
lazy pass. Here comes Crawford. It might be showtime. Sam. To shoot. They'll get one off, and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
There's a long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go. His
Ford driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good. Pass on the nice block by Hernandez Crawford.
And Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalan's going to go when he puts it away? And Corbalan wants to put it down. Reaches Brown, you can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Gershon in transition, 3-on-2. Gershon going to go all the way. Oh, Morgan.
It's been a weird morning.
No, I really meant to play it right now. I didn't realize how short that commercial break was, so I started playing the intro. I was like, oh, crap.
Oh! By the way, nice new beanie you got. It's good looking red.
For an extra pass.
All right, Lobo football tonight. Who you got? Is tonight the night Danny Gonzalez gets his first win as head football coach at his alma mater? I believe it is. I think you believe it is, right?
I'm feeling it. There's a tingle.
You're feeling it. Does that mean you believe it is, or are you just feeling it? I'm not even sure what that means. I'm feeling it. Micah, are you there tonight? Air Force or Lobos? Who you got?
I got Lobos.
8.5. You certainly got the Lobos.
Yeah, I do like the number. I'm not sure what I'm missing to see that going the other way and not back towards New Mexico at this point in time. But it's the opportunity. It feels like it's time, and that's what Rudy said. It's time, and it feels like it.
Yeah, I think so too. Bad Street sent me an email. Lancer is the OD answer. It sounds like Lancer started his Lobo tailgate a little early this morning. Kind of does. Kind of does. Yes. We've been talking about Joe Namath. Yeah. Because Josh is going to get the Joe Namath tattoo on his lower back, the Joe stamp. It's going to be terrific. Is it going to be the one where he's putting on his pantyhose, or where he's looking at?
I'm kind of like, I think that's something you should kind of just do anyway, man. That's a story for the rest of your life. Like, who else has a Joe Namath tattoo?
It's a really good point.
I like how it changed from, a little Jets tattoo.
Yeah.
Now it's like a face of Joe Namath as a tramp stamp.
No, the whole thing. I mean,
it just got better.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that.
It could be a hit at parties.
Joe Namath, or you can get the 13-year-old face of Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Which one do you like?
Yeah, right.
He's still got his little acne issues going on as an NFL quarterback.
He looks like Sid from Toy Story there a little bit.
What was he thinking?
He really does.
He's like the cool Oregon guy. He's got a little bit of long hair, some of the scruff, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to look like I'm in middle school now.
But he's a SoCal kid, right? He went to, no. He's a Eugene guy.
He's from Oregon, but he's been a lifelong Charger fan.
Nobody's a lifelong Charger fan anymore. All the lifelong Charger fans have just cut ties except for you and Lenny. That's it.
Right.
Those of you who don't live in San Diego and aren't bitter and pissed and angry. Who leaves San Diego, by the way, because they want to? Honestly.
I didn't want to leave. I had to.
That's what I'm saying.
Hotel right now.
All right, TV moment. Don says Arnold Palmer's wife was on the Johnny Carson show right before a major tournament. Johnny asked her, this isn't going to be good. Johnny asked her if she did anything for Arnie to bring. I remember this. Johnny, do you ever see Johnny Carson clips? How he asks questions. He asked the wife, "Did you do anything for Arnie to bring him good luck?" And Arnie's wife said, "I kiss his balls." And after just blushing, Johnny says, "I'll bet that makes his putter stand up." That was on the Tonight Show. Go Lobos. He says, "Go Lobos, woof woof." That's from Don. Yes, I've seen that clip. I've seen that clip. David sent me an email on Cullen. Hate to rehash and hear it again, but what people didn't like was Craig Neal playing daddy ball with his son here by forcing him into the starting point guard role when he was anything but a starting D1 point guard. Cullen's attitude also didn't help, as he could obviously be seen yelling at his coach/dad on the sidelines when he would come out for screwing up. The father-son lines really got blurry, and it was kind of disgusting to watch. At the same time, the quality of the program steadily took a nosedive. It's from David. Yeah. I never thought Cullen was a point guard. I think you and I agreed on that, correct?
Yeah.
Cullen was thrust into that role. And then remember when Cullen was hurt and people didn't like where he sat on the bench? He should be down at the end of the bench, not up. Yeah, the whole thing was bad. The worst thing
was that.
What?
When was he thrust into the point guard role?
Well, he was the point guard.
Well, because
they didn't have one?
That was his junior year.
Okay.
Because he played his sophomore season, he was still playing with Hugh Greenwood.
All right.
Someone was telling Hugh not to be on the basketball.
So it was his junior year, his last year here?
Junior year.
So it was already messy at that point.
You had...
At that point, it was already...
Yeah, it was already messy, but I don't think there was ever a sense of...
Yeah.
him being like, who was his junior season? You had Elijah Brown, freshman Jordan Hunter, freshman Anthony Mathis, freshman Damon Kuiper, Tim Jacobs on the roster. Like, who was playing?
Tim Jacobs at the time was a walk-on, wasn't he? Right? From It was the worst thing that ever happened to me in the last 25 years of global basketball. So I've been watching since 1996. And I don't say this out of blame on Cullen. I think if Cullen would have gone to St. Mary's, I think as he was committed to out of high school, I think Cullen would have had a nice career at St. Mary's, and I think Craig would have had a better chance here. Now, I don't know if the result would have been any better for Craig, but I think that whole piece, and I think Craig obviously took it very personally, that it got personal. I mean, I don't know how you don't take it personally. It was about him and his son. And Craig got bitter. Craig got angry. People got angry at Craig. I just think in retrospect, it would have been so much better. Don't you think, for everybody? For Craig, for Cullen, for global basketball, if Craig would have gone on to...
Yeah, it's easy to look back on it now, but the Colin Neal situation, like, even that email, I'm like, where did that come from?
This one I just got?
Like, just that storyline, because obviously, he saw something that he believed.
That's why.
But when you look at it, his freshman season, Collins, that was the carryover year. So they still had Kendall Williams, and they went, they won the conference. The next year, he played 3 games and sprained his ankle.
But he sat next to his dad on the bench, and people were...
And then his junior season, it's when there was no one left. So
his third year, which was kind of...
So year 3.
That medical red shirt,
So 15, 16.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, who else is playing point guard on that team? Like, who is he forcing him
But he was still kind of forced in that position because there was nobody else there. He wasn't a point guard. Bottom line is
it's not like they forced him there and then sat
somebody else, like
someone else, to be
Tim Jacobs, because like Tim Jacobs was going to be the Messiah here. No, your point's not totally wrong on that. Was he forced into it because there was nobody else there? I believe so. Yeah, he was still playing out of position. He wasn't a great ball handler. And I've asked this a lot, and this is something we'll never know. Would it have worked? How much different would it have been? And I know everybody tells, it would have been unbelievably different if Alfred stayed, and it would have been Bryce here, and Bryce would have been a Lobo. And what would Bryce's like Bryce? And I want you to remember, Bryce left UCLA as the 3rd leading scorer in the history of that program, right? I mean, behind some gigantic names. At UCLA, Bryce Alford left as the 3rd leading scorer in the history of that program. I want to say that the number 1 3-point shooter in the history of that program. But what if Steve stays here and Bryce honors his commitment to stay here? How would that have worked?
I think it's entirely different because you feel the success would have continued.
But everybody thinks,
it's because they didn't win.
Yeah.
Once they moved on from that class, which was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the program took a nosedive, and then Craig Neal was getting hit, and the next part of that was then falling on Cullen, and Craig didn't handle that perfectly. And when you don't handle it perfectly, when you come out and you said it, when he talked about the death threats that Cullen was receiving, people scoffed at that, and then there was no coming back. Once you're losing, and then people are already against you, and your kid's not playing all that well, he missed a season injured, he's trying to play out of position, he's your kid.
Yeah. And then, and as a dad, I mean, look, naturally, I don't care who you are, how you think you'd handle it. So I'm going to tell you, I couldn't have handled it that well. My job is the coach, and that's my kid. I mean, bottom line, first of all, where did I see? Was it Indiana? Where did I see last weekend? Coach whose kid, it was Indiana, right?
Yeah, Indiana Hoosiers.
Where the young man got carted off the field. It happened to be the coach's kid. Like, I mean, imagine that. And now I gotta turn around now, and my son just got carted off the field, and I can't go and be with him and worry about it. I gotta coach this team. Imagine in this place, in this town, with Lobo basketball, and that's your kid. So I don't know who would have handled it much better. Did Craig handle? I'm sure Craig learned a lot from it, but I'll still say, David, and I understand why it doesn't. Like we can have this conversation, and I think I understand why. But I'll hold to my original statement. I have never seen this town turn on one of its own, like I saw this town turn on Cullen. It's we're so proud of ours, right? Whether it's Johnny Tapia or Holly Holm or Danny Romero or even Kenny Thomas or we claim Danny Granger, right? Oh, he's a Lobo, right? Everybody. No. Danny Granger spent 2 years here.
One semester, Arian Foster went to high school.
Right? I mean, Aaron, that's the greatest one of all. Arian Foster. He went to Valley High School, never played football there, went to San Diego, went on to the NFL. Oh, former Valley Viking Arian Foster. Give me a break. No, it's the truth. That's the absolute truth. But boy, did this town turn on this kid. And look, did Cullen need to mature? Did he need to grow up? Yes. He was a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid. Being thrust in the spotlight? Yeah, he had to mature. Was he a little spoiled? Probably. Did he do something? Yes. But boy, did this town turn on him. And so, David, to your email, yeah, I mean, his attitude didn't help. You're right. You're right. And the dynamic was toxic. Oh, and by the way, they didn't win. If they'd have won, you wouldn't have minded him yelling at his dad. Oh, he's fiery. Tom Brady's fiery, right? Tom Brady yelling at his guy. Oh, he's fiery. You see, look at Tommy. He cares. Am I wrong?
Nope.
That's how it goes. No down payment for a new home, no problem. You can get a jump start at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. They got a jump start down payment assistance program. It can give you up to $6,000 towards your new home, and it's not a loan. You do not have to pay this back as long as you stay in that home for 4 years. This is a great program. Prices are high right now. A down payment can put that dream home out of reach. Do not let that happen. If you've never owned a home or haven't owned a home over the last 3 years, you might be able to qualify for this. Get a jump start on home ownership. Apply for your jump start assistance today. Go to kirtlandfcu.org/jumpstart. That's kirtlandfcu.org/jumpstart. Kirtland Federal Credit Union. They are more than military. They are for life. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender federally insured by the NCUA.
He's in the end zone. The Sports Animal is your home for NFL doubleheaders every Sunday afternoon.
Sunday at 11, it's a big AF.
Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
I mean, Ramos' hand. And
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer!
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji! Into Watson with the jam!
Steal by Domino Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi, lob, two-hand hammer. You knew that was coming. The lob to Agbaiosi, the one-hand hammer.
Put up. And a drive from Parham.
Opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores. Got into it. And had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. Two-hand hammer from Murillo. Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it.
Going to settle. Looks to the inside. Comes to the far side push. Shot on aim. Goal. Deflected in. No.
Dorian's going to go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. Ramos. Got it. Look out. Ramos, can he chase it down? It was a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
Get it stripped. Galeon stripped him. Compiling the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it.
What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbayosi throws it down.
Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy, and it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
They're going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay, I got you. Measurement. I mean, Smith's got a fire in first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. Looking to throw it.
Why does it sound like that? Just curious.
Give me a hole if you got your funky bus fare.
Happy Friday, boys. Happy Friday. Woo! Is it Friday now? Game day Friday, JJ. Game day. Game day. Lobos Air Force tonight over on News Radio KKOB. JJ's got the pregame show at 6:30. Robert Portnoy and is it Preston today? Preston Denard? I don't know.
I know it's Preston or George.
Whoever's doing color will be on the commentary. And you can get that today. All right, the news this morning, the New Orleans Saints are going with Taysom Hill and not with Jameis Winston. So if you picked up Jameis Winston and you plugged him into your fantasy football lineup and you, look what I did. I got me some Jameis.
You're a sucker.
Sorry.
You've been fooled by Sean Payton, who is smarter than everyone. He's told you, and we've laughed at him. We've scoffed. Taysom Hill, you're back quarterback. Ha ha ha. Then why is he playing special teams? Why is he doing everything else? And the time has come. Drew Brees was pretty much hit by a truck. Man has like 5 broken ribs, a punctured lung, and it's time. The Taysom Hill experience, the takeover is upon us. Good luck getting your job back, Drew.
Well, easy. Drew Brees is going to be out on punt returns now. because your backup quarterback is on punt returns. All right, there's a couple of things going on in the Big Ten. And I don't know. We told you yesterday Mike Loxley's got was positive for COVID, and his team's not playing in Maryland. You got the issue at Michigan and their head coach. How many coaches does it end well for anymore? Like, give me a coach, a football coach that honestly has walked away from a job recently just because they had so much success and they're cool. Like, I can't. Les Miles didn't at LSU. And, I mean, go down the list.
It's rare.
Urban Meyer didn't at Ohio State. Harbaugh's not going to at Michigan. And so now James Franklin was kind of the golden child in this business a few years ago. Did so well at Vanderbilt. Took over the Penn State job. Now, I'm going to give Bill O'Brien a lot of credit. I know you don't like Bill O'Brien, but I'm going to give Bill O'Brien for taking Penn State out of that as dark a period as any program has been in, right?
I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm not giving him credit for being a great coach with the Houston Texans. I'm for his Penn State for getting him through that period. And then James Franklin took over. And now they're losing. I mean, they're losing to Indiana, and they're losing to, everybody. Well, there's a story this morning that's written by John Barr on ESPN.com. That James Franklin evidently told a player to not talk to police after a fight with a linebacker. This was in 2018. It involved punching and choking and a knife and I'm going to guess probably some drinking. It's a former player, a guy named Isaiah Humphreys. And there's a draft report out, and there's a Title IX inquiry, and there's sexual assault allegations of the Penn State locker room, which is just those two phrases, sexual assault and Penn State, just makes you cringe. But there's allegations that became public because Humphreys sued the school earlier this year. The report doesn't include any conclusion by investigators, but there's interviews with dozens of football players and coaches and staff. And so according to this former player, he had a fight with another linebacker, a guy named Micah Parsons. This was back in March of 2018. The player, Humphreys, met with the coach, Franklin, in the coach's car outside of the football building. The investigator in this report wrote that, quote, Mr. Humphreys added that Coach Franklin came and said, do not talk to the police because Micah is his star player and makes money. So if he gets in trouble, he's gone, end quote. JJ, look, this is an allegation. This is a report. James Franklin's going to come out and deny this. This is the kind of stuff that starts to unravel. This is the kind of stuff that comes out, and then you start layers and layers. Greg Marshall just left Wichita State after a more successful run at that place than anybody's ever had in basketball. This is, Urban Meyer. It started coming out right when Brett McMurphy, his report came out, and you start unraveling. This is, I'm just going to tell you, first of all, the term sexual assault being used with Penn State football is going to be zero tolerance. And it should be zero tolerance, by the way. And, oh, by the way, what did we just have a conversation about in the last segment when we were talking about Craig and Cullen Neal White? They're losing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not winning. So many coaches can hide behind the cloak of winning. Aren't they 0-4?
They're 0-4.
I got a bad feeling about this one. I got a really, really bad feeling about this one.
That's, the report comes out, take a step back, read all about it, and then, Penn State, man, they've been through it, and you can't just look the other way. And it's one that when you're losing, people are going to be more willing, which is unfortunate, to take things seriously and look into things. And that's where the process is next for Penn State.
You are not winning at Penn State. They're losing at a level that I think is probably shocking, right? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's shocking. And I got it. It's a weird year. And I think in the long run, this may be a throwaway year for a lot of schools, except for whoever wins the national championship, right? When we look back on college football, assuming you get back to something that resembles normal next year, aren't you going to just say, whatever, yeah, this is just a throwaway weird year. Teams played 6 games and 5 games and 8 games and 10 games and 2 games and whatever, right?
Yeah, in the big picture, absolutely.
Yeah. But Penn State's 0-4. Penn State has lost to Indiana, Ohio State, and then Maryland and Nebraska. Here comes Iowa tomorrow, then Michigan and Rutgers and Michigan State. I'm going to tell you the odds of James Franklin being the coach next year dropped dramatically because I just don't think Penn State has got any appetite. How long ago was the Paterno-Sandusky thing? That was, 15 years ago already?
No.
Wasn't that long ago?
It was because we were
here? So within the last 12 years?
Yeah.
Last 10 years?
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, I can't imagine that university, let alone that community, having any appetite for anything like that. Can you?
No. And then, like I said, the thing about it is they're losing, so people are going to take this more seriously than if they were a 4-0 team.
No. I just something to keep your eye on. Just something to keep your eye on. All right, I got more emails for you. We're open for you at 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Get you ready for a big one tonight. It is Lobos and Air Force.
Does the streak end?
Lifelong Charger fan, this says. Who knew? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy. It's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
Going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay, I got you. Measurement. I mean, Smith's got a fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. They're looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11. And spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
He'll throw it. Looking. Here comes the rush. Stepping up. Pavia now running around. Being chased. Looks across. Throws it up as wide open. Ball is caught. Touchdown. Jimmy Gaye. Chavez dropping, looking, stepping up. He's going to run. He's got a lot of green in front of him. To the end zone. Touchdown. Rio Rancho, Isaiah Chavez. Chavez set. He's going to run with it again and dives and...
Austin Smith, and to the outside, a lot of room. Look out, a foot race down the sideline. All the way on the first play from scrimmage, Chris. That's a touchdown.
Scrambling. And off, great hit. He bounces off outside. Got some daylight at the 20, the 10, the 5. What an incredible run. Ramos, rise and fire. He's fouled.
He used to coach for Del Norte. And
here's Voss all the way with the finish. He'll get the... Behind the back of the dribble. Tries to go up with the right hand. He changed hands in midair. And Hotnet sent it away. Wynn doing a really good job denying Chavez. DC hasn't got the ball. Oh, Yeku. Oh. Working against Watson. Oh, look at the spin move.
Ball's loose. DJ Bustos brings it up. Bars Tompkins, alley-oop. How about it?
We ended up beating the Air Force that day. I believe the score was 29-23. It was a great game. We got off to an early start. We played really good on defense in the first half. I think we only had 11 total plays on defense because we kept getting 3 and outs, and our offense just took care of the ball and controlled it. And we ended up holding on for victory that day. And I'll never forget Fisher DeBerry apologizing to the fans over the intercom. We were listening to his post-game show on the radio like I do with you. And he apologized for them losing to a team like New Mexico. And that has bothered me ever since.
Danny Gonzalez on Lobo Talk. I never had heard that story before. And I didn't even know that Fisher DeBerry did that. Sorry to our fans for losing to a team like New Mexico. Yeah, that would bother me ever since, and I would never forget it either. And they get to play each other again tonight. Fisher DeBerry's no longer there, but Danny Gonzalez is back with the Lobos, and that's something that he'll remember, and he'll tell that story every year.
Was that the pancake day?
I don't know.
I know it was the same day. So Danny was telling a story this week on one of the Zoom calls. They were playing like a 10 o'clock kickoff.
Okay.
So they had everything pushed up. The team meal was at 6 a.m. at the hotel. And he said the cooks didn't show up. And so I think he was a GA.
And they were on the road?
At the time. Yeah, they were up in Colorado Springs. So I guess the hotel was like, well, you can go into the kitchen, but I don't know what you're going to do. And he said all they did was make pancakes. And so they made the team pancakes. Like, we don't know what else to make, just a bunch of pancakes. Sorry, guys, this is what you get. And then that might have been the same day.
That's a beautiful story. See, that's the kind of stuff you're going to get out of these long, weeks together.
I'm down, ready for your team meal. Like where's the eggs? Just pancake. Nope.
How about Fisher DeBerry saying that? First of all, we're listening to the post-game show, like I listen to you. I told you over the years, I get so many texts from, and it's amazing how many people tell me what I said on the show, what JJ said. What people listen, and as much as coaches will say, I don't listen to the media, I don't listen to radio, I don't read the damn newspapers. Yeah, you do. Or if you don't, you know everything that's freaking said.
I appreciate it because there's times where it's like 10:01 and someone's like, "Oh, what'd you talk about today?" I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, but they know. They know. David sent me an email on the Cullen Craig thing to follow up. He said they had Tim Jacobs, who's actually a real point guard. Neil didn't have many other point guards because he planned on playing his son there, so he didn't recruit any. He was trying to make him an NBA type point guard. He should have been a backup shooting guard here, just like he was at the other schools he transferred to after he left here. I wasn't someone who turned, quote, on him. For me, it was all about the way Neil used and coached him. Cullen didn't help himself either. Okay. All right. I mean, it was up to Craig to get a point guard on that roster. Yes.
That's a fair conversation. Yes. And Tim Jacobs ended up being a solid player that year. But I also don't necessarily look at it and say like like Craig came in there and just tried to pull one over on everyone when just look at the way that roster set up. It was a bunch of freshman guards. It was a walk-on in Tim Jacobs and Colin Neal, and it's kind of like...
but he set up the roster.
Yeah. Well, freshman guards.
Yeah.
Like, you recruited, they just weren't...
No. Yeah. Yep. You could, and, you'll be told that, I'm watching freshman guards. They're ready to play in today's college basketball, which isn't totally wrong. You see freshman guards playing all the time in college basketball today. Now, were these freshmen ready to play is a whole other story. But he's saying he just set it up. He used this to set up his kid to be an NBA guy. At the detriment of Lobo basketball. Okay, it's a conversation. John says, lifelong Charger fan. I'm a lifelong Dallas fan overall, but also a lifelong San Diego Charger fan. I have 8 siblings, and my eldest sister has 17 years on me. Her husband was in the Navy and stationed in San Diego for many years. She would send me Charger programs in the 60s, so I chose to root for the Chargers in the AFL and the AFC. John Hadel, Lance Allworth, and Ron Mix, amongst others. Don't forget that former New Mexico Highlands and UNM quarterback Don Woods was drafted by the Packers, released and picked up by the Chargers, who made him a running back in 1974. He won Rookie of the Great honors. I'm not even sure what Rookie of the Great is in the NFC, rushing for over 1,000 yards and then a rookie record in just 12 games. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't forget that because I never knew it. Don't forget that 1974 former Highlands and UNM quarterback Don Woods was drafted by the Packers and released and picked up by the Chargers. Micah, don't forget that. I didn't forget it.
I never knew it.
Because I never knew it. Yeah. All right. Lifelong Charger fans. There you go. It's a lifelong Charger fan that's going to have Joe Namath tramp stamped on his back. Joe Namath either trying to kiss Susie Colbert or putting on legs pantyhose.
Yeah, I'm all in on I'm stacking the Chargers this weekend.
That's what I'm telling you. And they're getting you're on the Chargers?
I'm on the Chargers, baby.
Why?
Herbert train. Let's go.
You're on the Herbert train?
Mm-hmm.
Joe. Is it Darnold or Flacco this week?
Doesn't matter.
It kind of does, yeah. Yeah, don't you think? I know I love you some Joe Flacco, so doesn't it matter? Ballage. Kalen Ballage. Or is
Ballage.
We're watching
Ballage.
And my daughter said, Dad, his name is Ballage?
Thank you for being an ally, JJ. I appreciate being an ally.
I'm still on board with the tattoo, but I think the Chargers are going to win.
Jets, Jets.
I think you should just get a Joe Namath tattoo regardless. The story.
He's got a pretty good point, dude. I mean, just think of the TV that would create.
Like, wait, why do you have a Joe Namath tattoo? Well, let me tell you the story.
Whole documentary.
And you can follow it up with, you should just go full back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just full back Joe Namath and Susie Colbert.
That's a lot of canvas back there.
I want to kiss you. I don't care about what you're. I just want to kiss you. That's nice, Joe. Thank you, Joe. It's very, very nice of you.
A little Philip Rivers in his bolo tie.
See?
In there.
and his like 9 kids.
The whole Rivers clan.
Yeah, the Rivers clan. See?
It's creating an epic work of art for you.
On Josh's back.
Whole mural.
What started out is if they lose to the Jets,
I'll get a J on my pinky toe. Nope, not good enough. Not good enough.
He's a little nervous too, by the way. Can you say? I mean,
I am.
Do appear a little nervous to me.
I wasn't even thinking about it until you guys really started talking about it today, and now I'm sweating it.
And it's real because the Jets could beat the Chargers. If the Jets beat the Chargers. Do the Chargers make a coaching change next week? Does Anthony Lynn coach another game if they lose?
If they lose to the Jets, this could be it.
I think this is it too. I mean, it's nice.
You lose to Adam Gase right now?
Whoo!
You might have to resign.
So it kind of comes down to this. Who's getting fired first, Adam Gase or Anthony Lynn? I mean, is this a loser out game?
They're not firing Adam Gase.
I think that's right.
So the Chargers win. Neither coach is fired.
All right.
Yet.
I don't think Anthony Lynn's going to be the head coach of the Chargers next year. Is Jim Harbaugh? Just asking.
How much is that buyout?
Don't put
in Michigan
on the Chargers.
Well, I mean, you don't buy him out. You wait till they fire him.
But they're not firing him with cause.
Do they agree? I mean, if he's going to get paid...
There's money coming Harbaugh's way. And even at Michigan.
You want Jim Harbaugh?
No, not at all.
Or do you want a tramp stamp of Joe Namath?
It's not going to happen.
Just saying.
JJ said it right. Chargers win, everybody's safe.
J-E-T-S.
Jets. Jim Rome show is next. Dan Patrick show's after that. Sports Bar this afternoon at 3. That's local sports talk. Don't forget Lobo football over on News Radio KKOB. JJ will start you off at 6:30. 7:30 kickoff tonight, and then we'll be back Monday morning with more award-winning radio. Enjoy the weekend, boys. Be safe. Jets.
Have fun.
Jets. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you on Monday.
Dorian over. Did he get in?
Yeah, they got in.
Touchdown, Dorian Lewis.
Seconds to play. Benavides still looking up the middle. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Freddie Anaya, and Roswell's season will end perfect.
Second quarter, 2nd and 4 for Socorro at the whole 44-yard line. McDaniel trying, good block by Hicks. First down and more, 30, 25, 20. McDaniel might be gone. Touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown for Michael McDaniel.
It's 40 seconds this year. It's not like 25 like it used to be.
He laterals it back. What a play by Hightower. Pitch.
Looked like somebody moved a little bit early. Hicks, the play fake double move. He's got his receiver wide open. Caught. One man to beat. Touchdown. Touchdown to number 17, Nathaniel.
Third and 6. Big defensive play coming up here. Little trickery to Reese. See you later. Touchdown. They went for the deep ball to Reese.
To the right, single receiver split to the left. Play fake, head up off the middle, got some room. 50, 45, 40, has one man to beat. 30, 25, 10, 5, touchdown. Touchdown, Hope.
Wow.
On a
Option again, he'll keep it. Now he'll pitch it. Comes out to the 30, 25, 20, up the sideline. Still inbounds, into the end zone. Let's see.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Portel.
The outside of running an out route. Davis and on a play action looking. He's going to go back to Lewis, and Lewis makes a cut, and Lewis still on his feet. Dorian Lewis is in for a touchdown. Back to toss, and he's got all day. It's one miss, and he's rolling. He's got a guy.
guy. Can he get it there? Davison to Luke Weissong.
Hey, we told you he could spin that
Touchdown.
football, and that was a throw right there. I know he's got the wind in his back, but